won't you please me? Palm just swinging, telling me it's crazy. Blue skies, why would I lie with you when this bed never give me no head? Trips to the side, cruiser love tonight. Birds are chirping, approaching noon. Waves are crashing beyond the sand dunes. Sort of flow of people cruising by, they sing no woman, no crying. Blue skies, why would I lie with you when this bed never give me no head? Trips to the side, cruiser love tonight.
Hey, this mob is.
You be you.
Oh yeah, I'll be me.
Mixed Mob St. Dog.
We in SD.
Irene.
Losing love for my galaxy. 6'4" hardcore. She sits in the wings.
Yes indeed.
Master pipes like the shake knees. Shall I proceed?
Put the pedal to the metal, make your nose bleed.
My baby doll rocks the white walls. People stop and they jump, but still I stand tall.
Hear the palm tree.
The palm trees are hard to keys. She my main squeeze. When we rock, we lay low because we OGs.
Take a deep breath.
Smell the ocean breeze. So cal mental, we bumping out. Did I
Say we
I
OG.
put the flames on the panels.
Shake the door handles with the pops on the lock so the cops say we vandal.
And my dickies in my sandals, got my skate.
No surprise.
Rip the side, cruising love when we rock.
Blue skies. I roll slow, you know, to know, yeah, yeah. I got my white walls on my retro swing. I'll be with you, baby, till the end. Anytime I grab my sector 9, ain't no skateboarding signs. Blue skies, while I lie with you. Got you by my side. Cruiser love tonight.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we have a really exciting show, actually. It's a bunch of friends of mine, family, brothers. We've got the Mix Mob from San Diego.
Oh,
You got three-fifths of it.
Well, 3/5 of Mix Mob. We've got Mike Counts, Greg Kellen, and who's that guy? Ryan,
Ryan.
lead singer, and everybody remembers our pal E&G from episode 21.
yeah, 21.
And so if you need some backstory on why we're all here today, go back and listen to the E&G episode.
Actually, why don't you give a little backstory?
Yeah. So anyway, these guys are a band out of San Diego. They used to be on a record label that I was sort of affiliated with, and E&G was kind enough to introduce me at some point. I went on tour with these guys a couple times, built some websites, built some street teams.
Lost some merch money.
Lost some merch money.
Oh, really?
Just
I didn't
once.
hear. I never heard this story.
We'll get to that.
And so anyway, they came together last summer. And for anybody that's been sticking with our show for a while, you heard me bitching about it from Spain because I was there when they were doing their reunion show in San Diego. And they came together last night for E&G's birthday to do a show here in Salt Lake.
Happy birthday, Ian, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
So
Thanks.
so we're back in sunny Salt Lake. It's been 60 degrees for the last 3 months, and we got a snowstorm as soon as everybody got here. So
We
usually
prefer
how
it
it
that way,
goes.
though. I actually like it that way.
yeah, it's very Utah,
Yeah.
very winter now. But so anyway, so everybody came out last night to do the show for E&G, and we'll share some footage and all that stuff. It was pretty fun, and it was cool to see the crew back together. The other 2/5 of the band, Matt Rowe and Dr. Jimmy Stiles, were here last night, but they took off early this morning, so they weren't able to be here. Not that I'm sure they'd have come on anyway. But so anyway, without further ado, my friends, my family, my brothers, the Mix Mob, and E&G.
Yo.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you for coming and making the time to do this. I know it's probably the last thing you want to do all
No,
hungover
it's-
from
Hell
the
no,
show.
we've been waiting for this since a month ago.
Actually, what else would we do today?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we.
just think of all the
You're
things
stuck
you could
in
be
Salt
doing. You'd be
Lake. What
sitting in
could
a
you do?
bar.
No, we're in a hotel room. We're drinking beer and we're talking about stuff that happened over the years, and it's fun. So
Yeah, so this show, this little reunion thing for people who, were 9 when Mix Mob last came through.
Yep.
They
It might
Stealing
have
my
been
jokes,
10.
bro.
Dude, that was actually hilarious
Yeah.
when you said that last night. Though.
There were genuinely people that were 6 years old, apparently, and I actually felt bad because why were they listening to a song about getting drunk at 6 years old and being into it?
Yeah,
So,
these kids were also child abuse survivors.
Yes,
but they
I
did
know.
survive, so that's a big deal. So anyway, so this last summer, This
All
is
right.
why we don't let the wives in the room usually. So, but I mean, generally there's strippers around, so we have a good reason to not have the wives around. But
Wait a minute. Another life, buddy.
Who says our wives aren't strippers?
well, no, they both can be true at once. So,
Just kidding.
But they definitely have cell phones, and we're I think live broadcasting someplace, so that's fun. But the show last night was sort of the first time, well, the second show in 10 or 15 years, 15 years.
15.
And so it was. I mean, for those of us that were around the first time for the first round, it was really cool moment. Fun to see the guys back together again. I mean, it sort of made all of us who are old now feel not that old for an evening. Except for I had a gout flare up, which
Shit,
is
I
like
felt old
actually
this
made
morning.
me even older. So
Let me tell you, I
Barely walk
felt,
up the stairs at the end of
felt
the night.
extremely.
It took me
Ryan,
40 minutes to get up
You,
to my house.
you don't have to share everything, bro.
No. We're fully transparent here. And so, we just have to fill air. So
All
I
right.
have to keep saying words.
Okay.
So anyway, this was sort of a culmination of things. They had done this show in San Diego over the summer, which is sort of like a big homecoming for them.
For sure.
And unfortunately, I missed it. Although rumor has it maybe there's another one coming up this
There's
year.
definitely another one. We'll figure it out because
Yeah.
we just enjoyed it too
Yeah.
much.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to the live show from San Diego at some point this summer. But they came out to Utah. E&G was the mastermind behind this. Sort of put it together, and we're super grateful that he did. It was a lot of fun. So, but let's go back in time a little bit. And let's talk about the band a little bit. So Mix Mob, when I joined them, were sort of established already, but they had been running around doing all sorts of different shapes of music, different bands, different things up to the time that I met them. And guys, anyone feel free to just pipe in, but let's talk about sort of the early phases, maybe even pre-Mix Mob, before you guys became a group.
Yeah.
Sort of everybody's stories.
I heard something about recording a song in a garage.
I'll let
somewhere.
I'll get to that, but I think Mike is probably pre all of that because I think so. I would say Matt is probably somewhat of the kind of the Kickstarter, if you will. I think Matt is the one that wanted to form a band. I don't know he knew what it was going to look like. I think he was very much into punk. A lot of these Sublime songs that he would play like acoustically, not acoustically, like bass and drums, and not have a singer. I remember a lot of that in my high school days, just partying around, and they would just put their drum set up with our friend Nate and Matt, and they would do that. And so Mike has history prior to me even being in that world
Before
that
you were
maybe you
gonna
want to
glimmer
share
in their
first,
eye.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was I used to play with Matt and our buddy Nate. Nate played drums, Matt played bass, and we used to play in my garage.
You used to sing too, right? A little.
Yeah, I used to sing.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then and it was just really like like high school punk rock.
No, but you had one song that I wish we would have stolen. We should still do it. I remember this that you covered, and you just reminded me. They recovered
So we
a punk version of Lionel Richie's "Stuck
Yeah.
on You."
yeah,
remember that now.
we did a punk rock version of Lionel Richie's
Stuck on You.
Stuck on You. I used to sing that song. Wow, it's terrible.
No, you sang it way better than I could,
But-
and it was good.
but-
Actually, I liked it.
But that was kind of like the start of this whole thing because I was in a band before that with some other friends in high school, and then I kind of just started playing with Matt and Nate, and it was nothing serious. We were just messing around. I think we played like 2 or 3 shows, maybe played a party or two, and I don't even know if you might have probably been at.
I might have. I don't know. I'm not sure.
But and then and then obviously it just did, it fizzled out or whatever, and then I just remember one day like Matt called me up out of the blue, and I hadn't heard from him for a little bit, and he was like, man, I'm doing this thing right now, and I want you to like play guitar, and it's with this guy. I don't know if you remember him, Ryan Weaver, and I was like, I was killing myself trying to figure out who in the fuck is Ryan Weaver. It's not that one jackass from high school, is it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. It turned out it was.
Yeah, no. And so that's where he found out. So rewind a few months before that happened. So Matt and I were friends, and my buddy Nate, and I can name all of our high school buddies, Diego, Paul, like all this crew of people that we'd go on campfires and we'd play acoustic guitars and we would screw around and make up lyrics and songs. And
When was this? Like,
this is like, I mean, literally, I don't know if it was late high school or just exiting
96,
high school.
96,
Oh man, it would be like 94, 95,
Not
96.
trying to date you or anything.
No, it's but, I mean, it's fine. You can date us. We're dated. It is what it is. But so no, we would make up these songs, and I think there was a point where Matt noticed something. I don't know when it was, because Matt. This is why like Matt's kind of this mad genius of orchestration of the front end of this thing, and because I think I wanted to do this sort of thing. I always liked attention, as you probably could have guessed that I enjoy that.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of a weird, I'm embarrassed of it, but I also know that I like to be, whatever. So I was a clowny kind of guy, any stupid thing in school, I'd be the one getting in trouble for doing the stupid thing, the stunt or whatever. And then on top of that, the music piece comes in. And so we just went, and so to your point about that I just told you about the storage unit. So he had a 4-track recorder. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. Excuse me, what that was.
Oh, you're fine.
You can say fuck.
All right. I didn't know what that was at the time, to be quite honest with you. I was like, cool, let's go record music. I mean, the recorder I knew of, it was probably this big, and you push record with an orange button within the play button. Then you
And it
push
had a
them
little
together.
cassette tape with wheels.
Yeah, that's the recorder I knew.
What's that?
Yeah, so a 4-track was like, ooh, cool, you have different channels? That's amazing, So Matt and I are in this 4x4 storage room with a 12-pack of Keystone. I think it was Keystone Ice, because that was the more potent one at the time, if I remember right. And we recorded the worst rap song known to history with his drums and him playing drums with like a standard 4-count beat and a bass line. And it turned into our first song that we probably thought was amazing at the time, because we
Listened
opened
to
with
it
it
on
like it was
repeat.
the best thing ever.
Hey, but Weaver,
Yeah, go
real
ahead.
quick though, I think like you had some history though playing music with your dad.
Not really. I mean, my dad was in a band, and I don't know if it was history that I would play with him. Like no, my dad was his own deal. Like
No?
no, I wouldn't say that. I think later, because of this, we
Oh, because of
connected
that.
more. Like he got into what I was doing, and I got more into what he was doing.
Gotcha.
But I don't think it was something like we talked about a whole lot before that.
Right,
So
but you had a little familial background in music anyway.
for sure. I mean, my dad loves writing music, and he's similar. He likes that crowd energy. He likes when that feeling of the back and forth.
So we've got him to blame for all this.
It's partly to blame for sure. He's got some, there's some genetics probably in there. I think that we all have a little genetics. I think we can all point to a little bit of that in some way, shape, or form. So, all right. So let's see. Let's bring Greg into the mix. So Greg, it was me, Matt. Oh, excuse me. I went up to Newport Beach for a while, left for a summer. That's when he grabbed Mike. And so Mike, and then our first drummer, Taylor, which I would probably call like more like a hippie, like very good drummer, but very technical, not like a straight ahead Sublime 4-count.
Yeah.
He's more like he would be more
Very
happy.
technical. The guy that holds his sticks different.
He was kind of like the salmon swimming up our stream. Like he was very good. He fit with us. He was good, great drummer. But he was one that would rather do, as opposed to a song, he'd probably rather do a jazzy thing that was like an off count being. He would think that's cooler than what we were actually doing.
Yeah.
So he was our first drummer that was musically talented, but more on a different level where you have to be musically aware to appreciate it, where the general public does not appreciate that. And so that he's the front end. So it's Taylor, Mike, Matt. I come back in the fold when I come back, and we start writing those songs fully as a band. And we're like, we need a DJ. And I think we said we needed a saxophone player. And I think we needed a keyboard player and all these things. And my buddy, Zach Von Felton, remember?
Yep.
Said, hey, there's a really good guitar player. I'm like, well, we got a guitar player. And but somehow we just brought him in and tried it out. So we tried out this. So what it became was this rhythm and lead kind of trade-off, where he'd do rhythms on one and one would do a little lead line on the other. And it wasn't like solo focused, but it was like,
it's just levels, you know. We'd build up, I don't know, just guitars that work together.
Yeah.
And
Layers.
neither of us were really soloing, but we were just experimenting with all kinds of cool sounds and different styles. And it was college when I came into the fold.
Yeah.
So,
no, this is all college. At this point, we're up to like 20, 21-year-old.
I was 20.
So were y'all in like a bachelor pad or something? Just
Yes.
jamming all the time?
Yeah. Oh, and Taylor would play he'd have those turntables.
Yeah.
And we put up these disco balls, and we thought we had the coolest pad ever. And he would spin Tupac records. Like, we try to bring girls back. Sorry, my wife's over there, but like, we try to bring girls back, and Taylor would be spinning his records. And
God, I remember that shit.
yeah, it was the best because
I got to tell a
Go
story. Okay, our first show ever was at Taylor's house. And
Yep.
we set up in his garage, right? And it's just a normal 2-car garage, and a band takes up quite a bit of space.
Yeah.
And we just started cramming people into this house.
well,
And we had people like sitting down in front of us in the garage all the way up to the mic stands and all over the place.
right
There's
now
people-
we're bragging about how much we filled the garage.
There was like 50
So-
people.
No, so we got through like 4 songs and the police showed up.
Yeah, no, but
That was our first show.
so the first show, which is perfect because we had like 5 songs.
I think we had,
So to get
we had
kicked
5
out-
and a
Didn't have
half.
to hit
We had
repeat
5 and a
again?
half.
So to get kicked out at 3 seemed like we had a lot left.
Yeah. Yeah, people didn't realize how short that set list
Oh,
was.
it was done.
Okay, wait, hold on though. That was a lot of fun. We ended our first show with a bang. We thought because the 4 songs went off great.
By the way, this is under the name Flipside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we're gonna go for the big time, man. We're gonna book a show, and it's not gonna be in a garage. And so our first show is booked at a Chinese food restaurant.
Japanese.
Oh, Japanese.
Tokyo Gardens.
Tokyo Gardens.
Tokyo Gardens, man. We tore that place up.
And I think we had about 40 people show up.
45 maybe.
We were
That's pretty
so-
good for a Chinese
Yeah,
restaurant.
for a first
Oh,
show.
yeah.
even.
Japanese place.
Japanese.
Now,
Yeah, sorry.
so
Did
now
they have a buffet in the
No
back?
offense to our.
No,
I don't
hey,
know.
Let me tell you though, really good. They do have good Japanese food
does
there.
it still exist?
Still there.
Oh,
It
wow.
is.
So third
The
show,
Union show.
was a place called Jack's House.
That was a good show. That
Well,
was
we
fun.
pumped the hell out of that party. We put flyers. Now, mind you, at that time, flyers, if you had a color flyer, like forget it, you were big time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
This was
we
pre-MySpace.
we printed our picture on a colored piece of paper.
Whoa.
Yeah. And stapled
And-
it up everywhere.
And it actually seemed bigger than probably every other flyer was just like standard Word document text. Like that's what it felt like at that time.
Well,
Like,
that's all they really had
Comic
available.
Sans.
You know?
pretty much Comic Sans or some like Impact.
the same
Yeah.
font on everything.
Yeah.
Well, we were. This is how much time we had on our hands. We would make these flyers, and I remember like we would cut. You would do, but this was before any kind of Photoshop or any kind of like
Yeah, we're cutting the
electronic
pictures.
thing. Like we would actually like physically cut the picture out and then tape it onto it, and like cut
put it on
other
the
stuff
photo.
out, and then
Yeah.
like make a photocopy of
That's
that.
right. We'd go through magazines.
And I remember-
and
Yeah.
find like
Looked like
crazy-
ransom letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I have vivid memories of like spending like hours at night. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And
Dude,
we're
we
at
were like,
Kinko's.
I'm gonna
By
make
the way,
you look way cooler than we really are.
Is there even
Yeah.
Kinko still, or is it's FedEx Kinko?
FedEx
FedEx
Kinko.
Dude,
Yeah,
we're not
this
gonna
was-
get a conversation about whether or not it's
Hashtag
Kinko's
FedEx.
anymore.
No, but I'm just saying.
I don't want to get into the mergers of FedEx and Kinko's.
Well, hey,
Did they
we're
merge?
always on the hunt for sponsorship, so we'll take FedEx Kinko if they
So
want to come along.
no, but I have memories of like spending hours doing that shit and then making the flyers, and then we would ride our fucking cruiser bikes because we thought we were this cool rock
In
reggae
Central
beach
Valley.
band, and
Yeah,
we
we're in the
live-
Central Valley at this
We
point.
live
by
in
the way.
Fresno, California. And there's a beach is 2 hours away, and we're riding our cruiser
Oh,
bikes
we
up and
definitely
down,
were beach envious at that point in our lives.
and we're just stapling
Yeah.
flyers everywhere.
Hey, Mike, you know how that serial killers start, dude. So
Yeah. Well, that was us. We were
No.
like,
And the best thing
Cutting
about
it
it,
out.
there'd be like 3 or 4 of us, like all riding together.
Yeah.
And people in Fresno, what the fuck's wrong with these kids?
Hey,
no one
Like,
rides bikes.
Yeah, let alone
being
beach
different,
cruisers.
being different helps.
Yeah.
It does. Get some attention.
God damn. So yeah, that was our kind of our first deal. Like,
So we sold out. I don't know if we sold out, but we at least filled clubs to the point to where, and within 4 months, we're like, all right,
We were selling out in 4 months.
Well,
But they
I'm-
weren't big rooms.
well, they're big enough,
250, 300, something.
and we're not. We're playing.
Pretty good
That's
for a
pretty
young
good.
band, though.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, a
It
lot
was.
of guys now would look back.
I credited a lot to friends and
and this guy
crews.
too.
we knew
yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
This guy was like
Yeah.
knew a ton of people. And so
Yeah.
Greg here.
Yeah.
I was
This
so
guy.
popular.
Super popular.
Well, so then we take that, and so we're. I remember Matt Taylor wanted to move to San Francisco, and actually probably more fitting spot for Taylor, like
We
with
actually
his
shot a
style and what he
video.
likes, you know.
I shot a video in San Francisco
I remember that. It was
with Rich Newton.
and I
still have the
want
video?
I want no part of it.
Yeah.
Like
you don't want to see it.
no, it's not great. I didn't want to go.
was so
I didn't like.
skinny.
You're holding a big ass VHS recorder.
Yeah,
No, it was
pretty good.
It was
Actually,
a legit
decent
like
quality,
film
but-
school,
Yeah,
and it was like a buddy of Taylor's that like.
but the video's not great.
it's not. Yeah,
I mean, it was probably okay for the time, but
I felt like it was big time at the time. They literally had like the track
Like a
set up,
dolly.
the
Yeah.
dolly,
Like the dolly
and the
and
tracks,
all this
the
shit,
moving
like production
camera.
shit.
Oh,
right now they can
Yeah.
accomplish that with like a GoPro with a steady or
Yeah,
yeah,
you
use
know.
your iPhone.
Back,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
back in
Yeah.
the day,
Yeah.
we hired a model to be like the lead girl in the video.
yeah, that wasn't a
and
model. That
stuff.
was a stripper. So
yeah, it was it was strippers. It was all strippers.
that's 100% accurate.
/model.
Yeah.
I'm not just trying to
No,
say
no,
that
no,
to be
no,
cool.
she
That's
was just-
Yeah,
exactly
she
right.
was
Just
a
a
stripper. She
Nice
actually-
girl though. Very nice girl.
Yeah.
We
came
dream
from a-
big things.
Paging Amber.
She came from a nice family.
She took us out the night of the video and introduced us to all her friends
They were all strippers too.
on stage.
Lots of glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The night that we had like a 2 or 3 night shoot. I remember that one night we said, "Well, let's go out." And I remember the dude said, "Hey, you could stay at my place." And San Francisco is so expensive. This dude that was like, he had a room not bigger than the room that we're sitting in right now. It's 10 by 10.
400 square feet.
You mean at our
maybe.
studio?
Well,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
no,
Hotel room. I mean
but
studio.
it was littered with cat hair. And I
yeah,
and so I said, I can't sleep there again. I'm gonna die. Like I was like sneezing. I was like, I can't handle this. And so we went out.
Weird doesn't like cats.
Oh, I don't like cat. Well, I love cats. Cat lovers out there.
You got to get one of those creepy ones with no hair.
Yeah, we got the ASPCA.
Yeah,
in our
exactly.
house Now we're in trouble.
But no, so I remember saying, I'm not sleeping there. I'll sleep in the car. And so we ended up going out all night. And I think we slept at some random people's houses
Yeah.
and woke up like late.
On a giant
I woke up to
beanbag.
someone slamming our door, like waking us up. You and I were
because
in
you
the same-
missed the fucking call. That we were
Mike-
supposed to do all this
Oh,
shit.
that's right. Mike slept in the car that night.
I
Remember
did.
that?
Yes.
Dude, that was brutal.
Anyway, long story short on this is
Yeah, why are
we don't like
oh,
fucking
man.
San Francisco. Not that we don't like it in the sense it
I
wasn't.
didn't
want to
live
move
there.
there.
It was a
It
wrong
wasn't.
time.
It wasn't a match.
I love
for
San
our
Francisco. I just don't
band.
want to live there. It's not. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Right.
And so I asked. I said I was like, hey, why don't we look and it's down south? And we didn't want to do LA because LA is kind of a big grid of
Oh, wait,
traffic.
wait. We got to rewind a little
Go
bit.
ahead.
We got to. So we decided to do our second attempt at recording. And so we went into a bedroom, which was bigger than the. You don't remember this?
No.
We went into a bedroom and we put up mattresses
or
around
carpet too.
yeah,
That's another one you
all
got
the
to
way
use.
around the windows, and we had one mic hanging in the middle of the room. How we recorded our 4-song demo. You don't remember that?
I thought we did that in Long Beach.
No. The first one
That
in
was-
Fresno.
That was with with Delgado.
Patrick Delgado.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we record this
All right.
the worst sounding 4-song demo you've ever heard, right? But because we know so many people in the town and because we've been playing these sold out shows, we would announce on these shows and tell everybody, hey, we've got this demo in Tower Records when there still was a Tower Records.
When that was the
right?
place to get music. yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that was a thing.
it was in the local section. And
Oh, that's right. And we
and
didn't sell
so-
it. We I think you're right. We decided not to sell it anywhere else and said go buy it there.
Yeah.
So we get our numbers up.
Right. So back in the day, you guys might already know this, but there was this thing called SoundScan where they put a barcode
Yep.
and everything that goes through the
Tracked
register.
everything.
And it was monitored by the music industry. So we, for 8 weeks straight, because of all of our friends,
So claim to
we're
fame here.
the second top selling CD out of this
That's
Tower
amazing.
Records in Fresno, right? So we
it's a
started.
demo
It's funny because
recorded
you
with
see
one
it, you
mic.
see it with like the soundtrack for Jurassic Park
Yeah, like,
or
all
whatever
this
the hell
stuff.
is
It
going
was
on.
a strong soundtrack.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah,
I don't know what it
we
was, but it was
beat out,
something like that, you know,
Celine
something
Dion.
silly.
We beat
Yeah,
out
Celine, like
Celine
weird,
Dion and
weird,
shit.
weird, like famous people like mixed in, like
Yeah, but
remember where they were,
it's a
but, like-
4-song demo, and it sounds
It sounded like,
like absolute crap. But our friends supported us, and that's what happened. So anyhow, the music industry started going, "Hey, who the fuck are you guys out
Was
in
this under
Fresno?"
Flipside still?
Yeah,
Okay.
selling all these units, and we're like, oh, I don't know.
I'm not going to go as far as say the music industry even
There was a
noticed even
couple people
bling,
that
but
reached out to us, right?
Industry,
A couple
industry
people.
Yeah.
types.
But
Yeah.
what they were trying to do is they were trying to get us.
Let's not overstate this.
No, it's
But
pretty
they were
big
trying to
deal.
get us to come to LA. Remember that?
I remember a little of that.
We got freaked out because we'd been doing minor reaching out and touring. We played in Santa Cruz and we played a couple other places, and we talked to all these, well, not a lot, but we talked to other bands, and everybody had mentioned, like, you go to LA, it's a graveyard of the big fish and small ponds. You go to LA to disappear. And so they're trying to get us to go to LA. Remember that?
I just didn't want to live in LA.
No, LA.
I really didn't.
LA.
I just like San Diego, and I knew people that moved down there, and I figured just as a better place to live. And if you want to go play in LA, that was my thinking. It wasn't really about graveyard. For me, it wasn't. And I don't know what everybody like that. For me, it was just I'd rather live in San Diego.
You're putting yourself ahead of the band. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jerk.
I gotta go pee now.
Oh, you got to pee?
Yeah, go ahead.
So anyhow,
I do too.
So 1998.
You want to go together?
Was it? It was October, right? October 1998 is when we all fucking loaded up our shit
Yeah.
into like 3 cars,
And move down.
and we just drove to San Diego. And
no
we,
place lined up
we
or
had
anything?
we had a place lined up.
I
We all
remember
lived in
searching.
the same house.
I remember searching for like a few months before. Like we
Yeah,
came,
that's right.
we would come down like on a weekend and like, okay, we got to find a place to live.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
it
say
was
this is like pre, getting on Zillow and finding
Yeah,
a place.
yeah. No, there was no Zillow.
There was no Zillow.
It was like
there was
it was
a
like
Mac-
no, it was the Reader.
the Reader. It
San
was a
Diego was
magazine.
like a magazine, and there was like the shit
San Diego
for rent.
Reader.
circling it.
Yeah.
And I'll remember we got this house. It was like a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
It was a 4-bedroom
house.
4-bedroom house just in a suburban, shitty neighborhood. And Greg lives around the corner from there right now.
Yeah, thanks,
He ended up
buddy.
buying it.
Hey, that
No, but
neighborhood.
it's a good neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a shitty neighborhood. I'm just saying the house was kind of
Listen to him
shitty.
backpedal. Listen to him backpedal.
I'm not saying anything like that. You got a good equity. See, we're old now, so we talk about
Yeah.
equity and shit. Young kids out there, you have no idea. Anyway, so I remember us going down every weekend and like we gotta try and get in here.
You guys were going down. I was still up there working.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, you were at
finally
Chevy's.
they're like, hey,
got a place.
we got a place. We're going on this date. I'm like, let's do this. And I just remembered getting in the cars, or we're in cars,
There were 3
right?
cars, yeah. I had a truck. I think I had
You had a truck. I had a Suzuki Samurai.
Oh,
at
dude,
the
those are
time.
badass.
Yeah, and I loaded
He's
it
got me
to the point where I couldn't barely even move. And so we drive down, and I just remember this kind of sense of anxiety, like, well,
What the fuck am I doing?
here we go.
Well, I remember that house was like, so the house was set up like you walked in the front door and there was like supposedly a dining room. And that was our practice. We actually
band
practiced
practice
in
area.
the house, and then there was like 4 other rooms that we just all
Nice.
that we just all lived in. Like, and that was it. There was no. I think we had 1 couch, and I just remember there was like bare nothing in that room except drums and our shit, all our guitar. gear.
ball.
I think there may have been a disco ball or 2.
You know what, though? We had the time of our freaking
It was great.
lives,
It was
man.
great.
It was awesome.
Neighbors were cool. Like the
Oh, that's the best part
the
right there.
neighbors had
If
us
you
play.
can-
The neighbors had us play a birthday party for like their daughter or something.
Yep.
It was so weird.
Cece was her name, I think.
Weird.
See? And we
And
could actually ride our cruiser
Carl.
bikes on the beach now.
Yeah,
We weren't
actually.
posing anymore.
Yeah.
Were you up in
no
Claremont
more
though? You had to go
posers.
down the hill, so it was good going down, but coming back up.
We
Well,
drove.
we
We drove him down.
I was
Throw 'em
gonna
in the
say.
back of the truck.
We did not quite hit PB yet.
you
It
pull
took
that up
us
just
a
a little
year
closer.
before we
We
actually
finally
hit
got
the beach.
in the beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
We've put the mic on your mouth a little more. Man.
Oh yeah, I will. Thanks, G.
Jeez,
I like it.
so
Something
demanding.
about seeing you do that. I don't know.
Put that live on the podcast.
There was this neighbor though at when we moved to Claremont named Carl, and the dude would smoke so much weed. He would come over to our house, and he was like, we were probably in our 20s, and he was probably early 50s.
Yeah, maybe.
And he would
Something
just
like that.
show up, and like at one point, he kind of came over, and Matt was like, "Yeah, come over, whatever." And they kind of smoked together and did their little thing. And I remember Carl just like fell asleep. And he's got a wife next door, and I don't know what his deal is, but I just remember looking over and like, should we fucking wake him up or something? Or so we just left him. we went to bed and we woke up and he was gone.
He's there baking breakfast for you.
I just had this image. I'm thinking Carl was in this random house and he just woke up to a room that like he didn't live in, and they got up and just walked out at some point.
So you get down to San Diego. You get kind of settled. What's next? I mean, how did you get linked up with SRH and all that?
Thank you for doing that, because if you don't advance this farther, we will keep. This will be a 7-hour show.
Yeah. We don't record the tape anymore, but we're still going to run out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So
We had
again,
that show set up. Remember
the
Right when we
fraternity
got-
one.
Yeah. So we played a big fraternity.
Oh
party.
well, get this. This is the best part. We go. We're still flip side. No. Wait.
Yeah, we're flip side still.
All right, hold on. No. We hooked up with SRH a little earlier. No. Yeah.
we didn't.
Yes, we did.
We did.
We hooked up with SRH before that show you're talking about, because Matt ran into this random dude that had the SRH stickers on his car at a liquor store, and it was a caddy.
Yeah,
It was this big Mike or
Turns
Fat
out he's a
Mike or
promoter.
Big Mike. That's right.
Big Mike.
Big Mike, and he was friends with Zinger or connected to SRH in some way. And we keep seeing these spades all over San Diego. So that SRH was definitely doing their thing at that point in time. And Matt just handed him our video. Actually, it was that video we were talking about, that San
It was
Francisco
a whole
video.
press pack. We had press packs.
Yeah. Again, it's not. You could do that like tomorrow. You can create.
Yeah,
this
now you
press
just
pack.
send a link.
Yeah.
Then be pissed if you send a video
Oh
and
Yeah.
man,
paperwork
hey,
to go through.
do you know how much work a press pack was back in the day? Holy crap!
Well, that's what separated the wheat from the chaff back then, because it was the guy who would actually spend time like all day at Kinko's putting together the kit.
We loved it.
Yeah,
But Greg, you were good at cutouts apparently back then. So
was I? I don't know. I'm all.
What?
You stumped me.
So we get a
He
voice.
wasn't bad
We
at
get a
that.
after Matt gives him the video.
He's
Hey,
average.
we see us or blah blah. Whatever his spiel was at the liquor store, just dropped him. So we got a call from Zinger.
I remember
within,
that
like,
day, dude. We
We were stoked.
we were
Like, because we didn't know. And by the way, I saw this Suburban Life video with St. Dog and the Cottonmouth Kings, and I was like, okay, that's kind of in the vein of like our style of what have you. And so it fit, like it kind of fit at that time in our lives and the music that we were doing. And I remember, so Zinger called. We were kind of stoked. We met at his house. Sign whatever we signed to do whatever we're going to do. And then he tells us that hey, your name Flipside. And by the way, we were locked into some other stupid deal that we signed in from some LA
Yeah,
person.
that was like some.
Lana.
So he got us out of this thing where they were signing with this German company because there were moron kids that, trust me. Hey, by the way, like I don't know what the industry is today. I just don't.
It's still
None of us do.
shitty.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
is. But there definitely are some people that are just out to fucking sign your name on the dotted line to like
Take advantage.
take advantage. And so this German person, I don't know if that's what they were, but it certainly felt like we didn't get anything out of what we were signing, but we were bright-eyed.
They were so stoked
bushy
to be
tailed.
signing
Yeah,
anything.
like anything.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Just
like
to
you
get
got-
attention.
Yeah, attention to detail was
Well, it
just
feels
not
like something, right?
something.
Even
We're
if
like,
it looks
oh
like
man,
nothing, it's
I'm,
still something.
I'm validating this stupid fun thing by maybe making money off it, and I'm going to sign anything and anything. We're morons.
Well, Zinger,
not only
Zinger looked
that-
at that. And he was like, "Dude, this is the fucking
It was a
worst
slave
deal
contract.
ever."
It was a slave contract. So when you're a starving musician, which 98% of everybody out there trying to do something is, and somebody says, "Hey, here's the potential to make $50,000," you go,
Okay.
"Holy shit! I've never even thought of $50,000 before." But if you turn around and make millions upon millions, you get to keep your 50,000, and they keep all the millions.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we had. It's just this shitty ass slave contract. So yeah, Zinger stepped in and worked some magic there and got us out of that.
So he got us out. And it wasn't much of anything. I'm sure they might not even have cared. It might have been like, hey, this is a lottery ticket. I'll give it a shot. And if it happens to hit. So he got us out of it however he did. I don't know what he did at the time, but it was behind the scenes. And quite frankly, we were not owning our own journey.
Right.
Like we just kind of were riding the ride and not owning our own journey. We were kind of hoping somebody else would help our journey. And I think that's a mistake that I would imagine a lot of young people
Yeah, I
might
guess
do.
almost anybody does. Like you said, you signed sort of a shitty whatever deal.
Yeah.
But it's because it was a deal. It was something.
Yeah, it was
Somebody came to
something.
you with something to sign,
Well,
and that's a big deal for, up and
Any young
or any
person,
young
right?
band.
Because they don't care, because they don't even want to know. They don't want those details. It's like a
Well-
kid that doesn't want to deal with bills or whatever.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like
well,
normal.
and when
Like,
you're
they don't want to
making
deal with it.
15 grand a year or making $8.60 an hour or whatever, doing some shitty work, when somebody says 50 grand, you go, holy fuck, man, that's more money than I've ever seen.
Well, like these shows that are on now, and like I gotta imagine, and I don't know this, but like an American Idol or all these like singy shows or whatever, you gotta imagine those deals are structured to pretty much screw them over for
Well, they
a
have to
long,
be, right?
right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing. They're kind of, I think that they're kind of preying on the idea of stardom because so many people want it,
Right.
and they just don't really promise much of anything, but just kind of string them along the way to get them. To
Yeah,
the
you
point
know, and
that-
you get a few things, but it's the thing they always offer: exposure.
Yeah.
We'll put you out there. We'll get your name out there, and people know who you are.
They're salesmen.
Yeah,
I
if
mean, they
exposure
come
could pay
in
some
and
bills,
they
that'd be
stroke,
nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Well-
they stroke your ego. They're like, "Oh man, you guys are the next it. I can feel it. This and that."
Yeah,
And whoa,
yeah.
whoa,
Those
whoa.
A&R
And you're
guys
just like,
used to be really bad about that kind of stuff.
So
Yeah.
think about the guys like right now, like that we used to play with, like Slightly Stupid. God bless those dudes. Like they've been doing this for 15 years since we did. They haven't stopped. And look at the crowds in the festivals that they're playing. Like,
Yeah.
by all means,
And
I
they
love.
own-
I liked that band then, even though I think I felt like it was like kind of competitive. Like we want to do a little better, but like we left right. They blew up, and I'm like so happy to see that they grinded and they did it
And
the
they
way
finally got
and they
the-
finally
yeah.
got it. But they did it through 15 years of.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were 8 years ago because my kids are probably young and
Well,
wasn't
it's
paying
funny because
attention,
on the
but-
road with you guys is where I heard that the first time. Actually, I think Mike had it, and they had that jet plane song on some old album.
yeah.
And first time I ever heard it
Yeah.
was with you guys. You know,
They're so good too. Like they're super talented, and I'm so.
I think they're good dudes too. You know.
they're good people, but like that's the thing. Like they went through a million different iterations of probably all that I'm talking about. Just the same. They probably have 20x the stories that we're telling you right now from what they
Sure.
went to get to where they are, and where they are financially. I don't know, but I'm sure it's a hell of a lot better than it
Yeah,
was.
it's probably not bad. They probably.
Oh,
got
I'm
their
sure they're
50
doing
grand
great.
and the label's rich.
I hope so. I hope so anyway. But I guess the point is
they
like
had good management backing too. Those guys were
And
definitely
it's such a-
looking out for them.
I hope, yeah.
Silverback management, I think it was, or something like that.
I don't know. Again, I don't know their history. All I know is that like I know what it was then, and I know that they're where they are now, and there's a 15-year gap that I don't know where they got from there to there.
Right.
I'm stoked they got there, but like I don't know what that path was.
Yeah.
And I'm
well, and
thinking
it's
about-
probably just that grind, right? You keep working at it, keep working at it. I mean, 15 years is a long time. If you're hustling the whole time, you're bound to find something.
Hey, man, it's all about luck, too, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
that's a big part of it for sure.
maybe I don't know. Like I don't know those answers. Like I don't have them.
I doubt there is an answer.
Yeah.
It just kind of
Different for
happens.
everybody.
Yeah.
Like the song Lady Luck, brother. You know?
Right.
So you meet Zinger. You get signed with Suburban Noise. Is that his?
Yeah. So
Well, so hang on before you get into that. So, for people who don't know, because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like SRH is as prevalent now as they once were. They were sort of like a skate brand and all that stuff. But like, did you guys know any of Zinger's background prior to that before getting hooked up with SRH? Because he was like in the business for a while, right?
We
Yeah.
knew he was a big time promoter. We knew he was managing some bands that we were interested in, rubbing elbows with at the time.
Right.
But we didn't have a lot of detail. Behind it.
I think the whole thing started out like the SRH thing. They just were like they would put shows on, so they would like
They
he
were
would
the biggest
promote
promoters in town.
like when Sublime was like they would do shows with Sublime down in San Diego, like
That was-
and it was more like it was a clothing kind of brand or like the skate surf kind of clothing brand that was kind of like it started out as kind of like a local like core.
some of this is speculation. Though. Like we don't know for sure.
No,
what
and
happened.
Yeah, no,
I
I
mean,
guess
this
all
is-
I'm trying to get at
this
is
is
just
kinda
like,
what I-
Yeah,
if
what
you
we
had
think
some
happened,
idea
yeah.
of what SRH was, I mean, Matt's pitching it to this guy, but I mean, like in San Diego at that time, was that like a brand
Yeah.
people knew?
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that
Oh,
people,
yeah.
because like I
Man,
think,
hey, Zinger started selling that shit out of the back of his car when he started that out. I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
Well, we also knew like any cool band that was coming in town that wasn't playing like an arena, that was playing a small venue,
a
smaller
club, yeah.
venue, club venue, theater, this and that. SRH was back.
okay, so they were pretty well known at the time, and
Yeah.
so
Well,
to get that connection was kind of a big deal.
Last
Yeah.
night it was badass to see the Spade again. I haven't seen that in a long time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Some of those
yeah.
dudes dug out sweatshirts that they
Yeah.
had from back then, though.
Yeah.
I
Also
just
when they
got
bought
one.
originally.
Fuck.
And I don't even know where it stands today. Quite frankly, I have no idea. But I don't know if it's as prevalent or the same prevalence or whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't
no
speak to it.
idea.
I don't know. So, but anyway, so back to where Mike was leading. So I wanted a little bit of background just to say, to establish why we cared about SRH at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, because out here, as a kid, because I was in Cottonmouth Kings and all that stuff, and I knew E&G's shop as the place to get SRH, and so that was how I got tied into SRH. But it wasn't a big brand out here. Nobody
Remember
knew
that party? How I met you guys down in Vegas? That shit was funny as hell too.
Which party?
The Seedless party that they did at Babies or whatever. The Hard Rock, underneath the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
There was a lot of little brands that like Ian just mentioned, like Seedless. Seedless is like
all those guys. They were local San Diego.
Like Glass Company or little stoner company, whatever.
Sector 9.
Yeah. So all those little companies.
Sector 9's still
Sector
around,
9's
right?
Yeah.
They're big.
We just reached out to him just to say, hey, we're playing a few shows, and he was super cool. He's like, I remember you guys, and we were right next to SRH, and I think there's still a bit of that family thing. So I as much as I don't know how big one is over the other, it's all love for all of them. And
Well, longboards kind of blew up a little while ago, and I think they're big into that, aren't they?
Yeah, that was
that's their deal.
They sort of led that charge, I think.
No, that's
Or they were one of the
they
bigger
have
brands,
you look at their website, they've got this ton of longboard that downhill ones, it's cruiser, whatever, different genres of longboards,
Sure.
and they got ridiculously artistic designs on them. The whole deal, I like these San Diego based companies. They very much supported us from the get go. We did our San Diego Pride Party that I probably wish I could have named that a little different because it didn't sound quite right.
I still have the T-shirt.
It's either gay pride or white pride sounding. It wasn't intended to be that. It meant to be about, hey, San Diego's got a lot of cool stuff.
You accept all kinds,
but
gay
we use
people and white people.
Well, of course, I'm not
especially
saying
gay
I don't,
white
but you use the word pride. It has a connotation to it that people are like, that might not be the best way to describe
it
it.
wasn't
If you
really
did it
a
now,
thing
we've
back then.
been surrounded by neo-Nazis back,
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not about that.
That's not. That was not the point. But anyway, but all those companies. I remember throwing out Sector 9 boards, Zongbongs, SRH stuff, and all this different stuff, things. And
well, and I think that's one thing, just from having sort of lived some of that alongside you guys was, it was super familial, all those brands and just sort of the way that,
Liquid
even
Foundation
all the other little
still
bands
exists.
and stuff,
Liquid Foundation is still there. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's in Mission Beach still.
Yeah. And see, so, it's just all those people and all those different bands and all those different, everybody was friends and family and sort of everybody looking out for each other. It was a cool scene.
Yeah, I kind of am a little jealous, to be honest with you, because he got all the fun and I just get to hear the stories.
So, all right. So let's jump back to that. So Matt's hooked up with SRH. Where do we go from there?
So Zinger finds out the flip side is clearly copyrighted, trademarked from every angle. It was a cool name. We would have flip side, people would do it gang calls, and we were very much into that name, and we could not come up with another name. And I remember thinking we liked the idea of a logo that kind of was symmetrical and da 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 da. And we're like, and we had these tattoo artists we're trying to work with, and we were okay. So we came up with this name, and it was Audio Afterlife. And it sounds like techno metal, nothing that we were, but we went with it for 3 months. And I remember and so that video that we're talking about, you have the little thing in the corner where it said the name of the song. So that video actually has a print that says Audio Afterlife, and it's Part-Time is the song we did the video to.
Oh, how funny.
It's Audio Afterlife Part-Time. And I'm like, and we're sitting around drinking and going, dude, I don't know, man. My wife at the time, that name sucks. My friends, that name is not great.
Do you remember when we played the Fresno State Fair with it wasn't playing the fair, it was a show with Blink 182, I think. It was a big festival at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to introduce this new name after we had left Fresno and came back, and we're like, they all know us as Flipside. So we go back we're Audio Afterlife, and they're all, fuck you, you guys are Flipside.
It was the worst name. And so I literally had so I'm hearing all this feedback, my wife, some of my friends. And so I just had I woke up like a dream, fuck, and in our minds, this is how stupid we are. that little print on the side of that video is we're locked in now. This video's gonna go huge. We can't change this graphic. And I'm like, no, you know what? It's not that big a deal. We could change our name now. So Mix Mob came about after many struggles. I'm not even sure we were super stoked on it when we came up with it, but we were more stoked on it. I think we liked Flipside so much that we had a hard time making the and it's kind of hard to say. Even to this day, I'm like, Mix Mob. What is it again? Mix Mob. It's like it's very like it doesn't like flow off the tongue.
Mumble mouth going on.
Yeah, but it's super fitting for your guys' band. I mean,
That's the point, is because I think what we said is like, what are we and what are we trying to portray? So we felt like we were mixing a lot of music. What I said about Brad Knoll last night, my favorite thing about him and Sublime was punk, reggae, hip hop. Yeah. They brought all those things together. They mixed eclectic styles. And if you listen to it one song to the next, from My Neighbor to Cruiser Love, you're like, who the fuck are these
you've
guys?
Got Beach Cruiser style,
like it's
super
very and then Lady Luck and Madhouse. It's like very. Because we like a lot of different stuff, and we've got a lot of different influences within us that made that happen. And then the Mob thing came from the fact of what I love the most is the interaction between us and the people that are standing in front of us, in that they're doing the show with us. So I genuinely like. I'll sound corny, and I don't want to take myself too seriously, but I do not like playing shows in which I'm just playing a show and people are listening to me.
Yeah. He just said that with his pinky out, by the way.
Fuck you. My pinky is not out. I have my hand. Take a picture. I want proof that my pinky is not. Michelle?
He's drinking a Chardonnay, too.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Brian?
Theater of the mind.
Well, but I want a show in which if I like, it's participation, and if that's not there, you won't enjoy yourself.
Yeah, well, and that's true. I mean, it was one of the things that I think most drew me to the band. I mean, I'm sure E&G can speak to this too, but I mean, those shows were always a party, and I was really involved with the fans when you guys started going, trying to build street teams and things like that. And I mean, the type of love that you got because of this interaction. I mean, the young kids that were coming to the shows were like so stoked to do anything they could do for the band.
Well, Ryan, really quick, it was kind of cool last night. I mean, a whole new genre of fans for these guys, and they were blown away. They're like, "What the shit? These guys are crazy fun, man. Yeah. Let's we want more of this." It was just cool. It was a really cool vibe last night to see that again.
Well, and
after 15 years.
Yeah, well, and like I sort of led with, I mean, for me to see that again sort of took me back to that feeling, that same, crazy atmosphere.
But it's like they never even lost a step,
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like,
no, we lost a few steps last night.
Oh, not several.
One thing I have to say though, and this one thing Ryan will not do is not let the crowd be part of the show. And what I mean, let me rephrase that. That sounds weird, but he won't let you stay back, and he won't let you not sing, and he won't let you not become part of the show. I was talking to a lot of people. It was the first time they ever saw us. One guy specifically said, I saw some stuff on YouTube and it was really old, and I thought I was going to come to the show and just, do my part, and because I'm supporting to support and listen to the music, but you guys grabbed me by the balls and like pulled me into this show. And I had no idea you were going to be so energetic and this and that. And what's funny is I think that was half of what we did. Half of what we did is play music, and that's half of what we always did. But the other half was jumping around like a bunch of fucking knuckleheads and grabbing people from the crowd and just pulling them in, whether they want to be there or
beer
not.
Last night and cheers to everyone. And
which, by the way, she had a rad face when you grabbed that beer from her.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
that's nice.
But I mean, like, yeah.
I mean, it was for me. It was a prop because I didn't have to hold it up, and it was. I'm definitely not going to steal the girl's beer or anything like that. But
I don't know. The microphone swing was pretty scary, though, dude. Towards the end of the night.
Well, I mean, that's and thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying that, Greg. But like, and it translates. You'll see all these guys talking to everyone. Like, we're very humble human beings. I'd like to think we were that way 15 years ago. I'm betting our heads were bigger 15 years ago.
No, you guys have pretty much been the same.
I even though we were the same, I think we might have been more like, I don't even know that we were
pissed off.
Maybe a little more like grinded and touring and whatever but the essence of what Greg is saying is what I think we had aspired to be back then, and we were more appreciative doing. Even we were so humbled to be able to do a show 15 years later, and people are showing up.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
And singing your songs.
Yeah, and
they were singing along, going word for word. Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I flashback 2 years ago, I never thought I would be on stage again, and the only thing Michelle can attest to this. I used to tell her I would love to just play a show again. That's all I would ever tell her. I would like to play a show again. And that's it. That's all I want to do is if I can do that again, and now I've done it twice, And so maybe we'll do, 10, 12, 20 more or whatever, and that's great. And like we'll be stoked as can be.
Well,
So-
and the cool part is now is you're not relying on doing shows for an income. You're doing it for fun now versus
Sort of takes that
having
edge
to do
off
that.
a little.
Oh, for sure.
Ball game.
Well,
maybe,
they definitely
maybe that's why we're more relaxed.
Yeah.
they definitely learned the hard
You're
way.
going to eat whether you play or not.
Right.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a bed to sleep in that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing it for
Not
the
in the
fun of the
van?
music and the creativity of it. The hard part is finding the time to create what we want to do. So we've got, as you know, those songs that we never released, which you've heard many of them that we want to remix. So there's like probably 6, 7, 8 that we like that are pretty solid.
Yeah.
And hopefully, because I think we all have a musical creative eagerness to do more.
Yeah.
The challenge is finding the resources, the time to do it. So
Well, and
we're
it's tough because now you got 5 adults who have 5 lives. A couple have kids.
Isn't your drummer a ER surgeon or something?
yeah, he's pulling stuff out of people's butts every other day.
Yeah, James.
Well, now he's getting paid to do it. I mean, he's always done that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
different now.
Rogar.
I'm only saying it because he's
I
not
love
here.
you, Rogan.
Yeah.
Damn, dude! I thought we were gonna be good
Zing,
tonight
zing.
on clowning people.
That's
dude.
right. All I've got is one-liners. That's
Pulling
it. But he's
stuff
not here to defend himself. So
Yeah.
It's always better when they're not here to.
He knows.
yeah,
He would tell you himself.
it's true. He's a humble.
Oh, I don't even let him tell me stories because they're too nasty.
So, all right. Well, we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but let's
Yeah.
see if we can get back on track. But let's fast forward a little bit. All right. So we're with SRH. We've landed on Mix Mob as a name. What's sort of the progression from there? Like, how do we start getting into
How did
putting
Ryan get
together
into
an
the picture?
album? How did we?
Yeah. So Rogar.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ian G got in the picture. He might be able to speak to this better than I can because I'm fuzzy on
Yeah,
some of the.
Ian was
It
definitely
was
the
it was
ringleader
about
of all that.
2000 when I linked up with these guys at that it was that trade show for like bongs and fucking pipes and shit.
Shocker.
Go figure, right?
They have a trade show.
But
for
you're
that.
are you pre SRH even?
No, I was already
No.
a rep there
Okay.
because like
Yeah, he
that's
was-
when I introduced myself to Greg. I walked up to the show. After the
Okay.
show, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm one of the SRH reps in Salt Lake," and he's like, "Where's Salt Lake?"
You didn't know where Salt Lake was?
He's
I don't
still
know,
working
dude.
on it, actually.
I still don't know where Salt Lake is.
Wait, where am I?
Oh yeah.
Sitting in
When
a room in Salt
when
Lake.
we were flying
yeah.
over, he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Is that the Salt Lake?" I was like, "Why didn't we ever go to that?"
Yeah, but I mean, I literally,
think we did,
like I
though.
said I met these guys
I don't
in
remember.
2000.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's probably about right because I started, following Cottonmouth Kings after they got the Suburban Life song on the Scream movie, and I started coming to shows, and I got signed up for their street team really early, like back when they were first just getting going on that. And Ian was, at some point became super involved with those guys, and so I started seeing him at every show I was going to, and so over time, just working with the band, and I got in early enough that I, could know a lot of the guys and stuff. Ian was always hosting parties and putting on events and things like that. So at some point I started to get looped into these things, and I got to go out to Ian's place and hang out with the bands and everything. And at some point Mix Mob came along, I guess, after this Vegas thing. And that's sort of where I sort of met these guys and slipped into that. So I had been running around with the Kings for a couple of years at that point, and then moved into these guys when they showed up.
So in around 2000, you guys had been signed for a few years. You put out your first album, SoCal Drunks. What was the recording process like? I mean, coming in from recording with a single mic hanging from the center of the room, going into a studio,
yeah.
that had to be different. And working with the producer, was that kind of weird? Or
I think we there was no producer. I was just an engineer.
Yeah.
I think that
We were kind of our own producers in a lot of ways.
But I think we also had kind of recorded some of this stuff before, right? We recorded a few songs
so we kind
in
of
Long Beach.
We kind of layered our this album was an occult, kind of accumulated from the beginning to the end, where throw out the dirty stuff. We're like, nah, and then this one's good, but we need to re-record it. We need to change this. We need to do that. Cruiser Love. Oh my God.
That was in Long Beach, right?
Yes,
You recorded that in
and-
Long Beach.
and I recorded it in that 4-track demo, and the rap part was so stupid. And thank God. I mean, it was so dumb. I think I said the words, "I skippity dip to my skateboard, my longboard that I long for, because I'm cruising after boozing with the B and the C to my core." And that meant brandy and Coke, but somehow I said B and C, like everyone's gonna know what the fuck that is. And so I'm just rapping along, and it's like, because I'm so rookie in my my delivery and my style and my confidence, and like I'm just trying to come up with cool words and put them together. And then so Saint came in, and he obviously, like, his verse was way better. I was like, yes, we're doing that.
So for folks that don't know Saint, I mean, even if you're a Cottonmouth Kings fan now, you may not know Saint because he's been gone for a long time. But he was one of the early Cottonmouth King guys, sort of in that first crew. Of
OG,
guys.
man, he's one of the first.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and he fit in that pocket so well. He was really excited about it. I remember him being like, "This is." He was super stoked on that verse, like, and we were like tag teaming. We were sitting in that was in Long Beach. We were sitting back and forth, and we're like, he's like, "You be you," and I'm like, "I'll be me." We mix mob Saint Dog. And I actually think when he said "You be you, I be me," it was like he knew we were kind of different. We weren't kind of the same. Like,
right.
You be you, I'll be me. Be yourself, I'll be myself. You know, like, let's be our own thing. And it was like, but it fit. Like, we in SDI, re-cruiser love for my galaxy. 6'4" hardcore, she sits in the wheat. Yes, indeed. Like, it was just, but everything fit. And I remember when we like ended the verse and we were like, blue. And like, he, you know, it's like when you have something that fits and lines up from the beginning to the end and you get excited about, wow, that really fell together. It fell in the right spot. And you're like high-fiving after you cut it or whatever. And obviously it's one of our more popular songs that people like. So it's just like one of those things.
It felt good too.
It felt right.
I remember listening to it and going, wow, like, you know, you hear a song a whole bunch of times and then somebody makes a tweak and sometimes you go, sometimes you go, okay, maybe. But when I first heard that, I was like, wow, that's fucking cool.
It was a great combination of both you guys.
Well, that's, I mean, and that's where collaboration, I think, is kind of neat that people we don't do enough of. Maybe we should do more of it. I don't know. We definitely could. We still know all these people.
I'd like to see some,
but that
possibly 311.
I love, okay,
shit.
so I
That'd be
love
cool.
311, like, beyond, like, so when I was talking about Sublime the way I did last night, for me it was Sublime and 311. If people were to describe me at that time, I thought we were more of a Sublime 311-esque band. Like, that was kind of like the closest thing to where you can fit like a little distortion and a little bit of that.
Well, like Come Original and all that stuff. It's
it's
a little rap, a little rock, a little reggae.
And I don't, and everyone always would hate to point to another band to describe your own band. Like, that was like a stigma. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You're not copying everyone. Like, no, everyone is influenced by everyone. And like as you get older, you're not shy to say, I'm actually less shy. I'm actually more proud to say what influenced me. And I know Mike has got a lot of punk influences. Like, he's got some really cool, like, Common Rider we were talking about the other day. Yeah. And then Greg has got, like, I remember Chili Peppers was big. There were some other more metal ones that I wasn't as into myself, but like, what are some of the ones that you would point to, like, that probably I didn't relate to, like, your influences?
I've always been more of a metal guitarist, and that's kind of the edge that I brought to the band.
Deftones was a big one.
Deftones, yeah.
I remember that.
Loved them.
But
You let them.
But what I thought was awesome is you guys pulled all this other creativity out of me in sounds that
You
like,
probably
you
wouldn't
listen
have
to my
done.
guitar parts. You don't hear Deftones.
I
any
know.
of that
Well,
stuff.
and we probably like, but at this, dude, I remember not playing. We had a literal rule, because when you're in the Central Valley, if you play a distortion guitar, you're running everyone out of the room.
Yeah.
No one wanted to hear a distortion guitar in the Central Valley at the time. They didn't.
I did.
Well, okay. If you wanted to fill a club and have them stick around and watch you and enjoy their night, that wasn't happening. Sure. And then we moved to San Diego, and then we've got Cottonmouth Kings that's got electronic bass program beats that were very big and very bassy, right?
Yeah.
So we're competing with that. We can't compete with that without some oomph.
Yeah.
All right. And then you enter in, and I think for me it was Dial 7.
I love this guy.
Dial 7 woke me up to, okay, we can do what we're doing. And 311 probably should have woke me up to this, but I didn't see 311 live on a local circuit the way I saw Dial 7 with us. And so when I saw Dial 7 do it, I was like, okay, I get it. You can mix in this distortion-driven chorus and hardcore stuff and still have a melodic
tone to it.
Well, and it's
tone,
funny because if you listen to the
rhythmic
album, you know, obviously it's difficult in the studio or like a recording environment to catch some of the, I don't know, that oomph that you were talking about, you know, but when you go see, you know, a Mixed Mob show, for example, I mean, it was always one of my favorite things is these real heavy guitar, you know, riffs coming off of Greg and Mike. And and those things make the music so much more impactful. There's a song that you guys did, I think maybe at the Pride Party, but I remember sitting in the rehearsal
San Diego
space.
Pride Party.
Let's clarify that one more time.
Pride in San Diego.
The pride of San Diego, being thankful for the companies and bands that lived in that area at that time. Party.
It was a long title, though.
Yeah.
We trimmed it down.
Yeah,
but anyway,
no, I'm going to extend it out to make it very clear. So
yeah,
it's not confusing
there's
anymore.
a song, and I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think it ever got recorded. I think it might have been called like "Runaway" or "Running with a Gun" or something
It
like
sucks.
that. But
No,
heard
it
it.
sucks.
there's a part of that song where it drops so hard, and it had just like this awesome, just like shredding guitar in it.
All right, we're going to cut that part out. Give it to Rogar.
You can just listen to it over and over again.
I have it,
We actually listened
So-
to it. We went through some of these vaults. We were
Yeah.
trying to figure out which ones we're going to.
and that's not a winner.
No.
It just isn't.
That's too bad.
And it's not really like, honestly, like if you like it, I will give you every part of it you can.
Well, you're your own worst critic, and you always will be. It's
Well,
just
and
how
I
it
don't know.
works
I mean,
out
because
to.
I know that song came together real fast. It was something that you guys were kind of
I
working
think we
on.
were- I
and-
think
and
we
so
were-
maybe it's not great.
I
but-
think there was songs that were still in the vein of where I feel like what we like. And I think that was one of those songs that we were going a direction in which we thought we wanted to go. Because
yeah, it's very different.
I'm trying to think of like, was it like, because we kind of were getting into this weird thing like, oh, wow, Incubus. That's kind of a cool sound. And like, we were going in this weird direction of like, where my voice cannot reach, number one. That guy's an amazing singer and hits notes that I can't hit. I got my
no
range.
one's ever accused you of being a good singer.
Dude, that's not cool. That's true, though.
Ryan Rogar 2, we were 0 tonight, guys.
I
coming
think
on
Ryan
the show.
I am not gonna. I will not be on American Idol. But I know my range, and whenever that range is where I need to fit. And in that Incubus range is not one I will ever fit in.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So anyway, you guys will never hear that song, but the point was that there's some real heavy guitar in that where
Yes.
at the end of a verse you guys sort of drop into something, but it's that sort of metal influence or whatever. It's that heavy guitar, and it was always one of my favorite parts. I think that's why I like that song. Is lyrically whatever. I don't even remember the lyrics. I just remember that hit.
Aha.
So
I win.
Guitarist win.
No, you can have a musical rendition of that and just listen to it instrumentally all you want. brother.
But anyway, I mean, to just sort of further, or finish off that point. I mean, even last night, the guitars really drive this band, and so even though it's sort of,
thanks,
you've got
buddy.
your beachy stuff and you've got
Aaron's all, fuck you, man.
No,
I see. I mean, I
No,
love,
by
I love the
far, you
hip-hop
guys have like
influence.
probably one of the best duos as a guitar.
no,
Guitar.
wait a minute.
This is my brother
pretty cool.
from another mother.
Wait a minute.
Dude, my head is getting really big right now.
Well, hey,
not my dick.
you guys
head,
aren't
just
quite
my
Tim
head.
Mahoney yet, but you're pretty fucking close.
No, I will never be that close. That dude's out of control.
Yeah, so I mean, but like a lot of the bands that we've talked about, the Slightly Stupids, the 311s. I mean, I love all those bands too, and so, but there's something about a good heavy guitar in concert, and then mashed up with the rapping and the singings and singing and the harmonies and the just super drums, everything. I mean, it's like a really great package. It's a cool band.
You're being very kind.
Thank you.
We're not that good. But
I don't know. Last night was pretty badass. Like,
well,
I don't usually
I
jump
beg
around
to
and
differ.
sing
There's
along
like
and,
300 people
you know.
plus that were pretty
Well,
hyped last night. Dude.
yeah, and there's probably like 300,000 people plus for a lot of other bands that would crush the shit out of us.
Gay bands.
But no, they're not gay bands. They're great bands.
Nickelback has a
I will say though,
worldwide following.
You had to go there.
I will agree. I will agree though that I will say, to our credit, I'll have the humility to say like we're not as good as you guys have just described us, and I appreciate you saying it. But our live show, genuinely, you should have a good time.
Yeah.
I can't imagine someone coming and having beers and being around us and not having fun. And I think that's the point of what we are doing.
Well, you
said we
weren't
were-
like hiding out in a green room. You weren't like
no.
No,
you were
man,
out
we're-
drinking, meeting people, and yeah, you
Slapping
know.
people on the back, doing
Yeah.
shots with them.
Yeah, well, and and last night was kind of a big like family reunion around here, just
Yeah.
because here in Salt Lake, E&G really pushed these guys early on, and so a lot of those old fans and stuff came out, But like we were talking about earlier, with some of the new guys and coming up to you and just saying how great it was and everything. I mean, they, I think that shows that it's
Yeah, you
not
guys
just
haven't
me.
lost a beat.
I think it's just
Yeah, we've lost beats, guys.
no,
No, you're still good.
I think it illustrates the fact that I'm not just over fantasizing all this stuff because 15 years ago it was great.
You definitely
and,
are a
and
little.
this is me.
No, it's real talk,
reliving
Weaver.
this old times. I mean, it's still there.
Humility,
Whatever,
fellas. Humility.
whatever that sort of vein that runs through it, whatever that life is that's part of the show. I mean, you may have missed a beat or two technically, or maybe we're all older and wiser now. But
definitely technically.
but at its core, it was still there.
Yeah.
It's all the things you guys have been saying. It's like Greg said about the show being so immersive and everything. But that phone translates. Everybody feels that same way. So really cool. I mean, ass kissery complete. But yeah,
It's
No,
not
it's
asking.
true.
And it's just fun. So and for everyone that went last night, number one, Ian did a lot to make this happen. I know he made zero money because he figured out a way to get us covered to get us out here. So thank you to Ian because I know he made nothing on the show and had a headache because I know what he paid to get us out here. Not paid us, but like
Yeah,
paid our
but it was my
expenses.
birthday, dude.
Yeah.
I could have got Van Halen. I saved Brooke Shields.
So, well, I will say too, to Ian's credit, I mean, he's never been the guy that was doing this for the money. He's always been, the brother, the OG, the guy that was hanging around and just kind of part of that scene. And I think, and don't let me speak for you, Ian, but I think he draws a lot of his
Ian,
satisfaction.
don't let him speak for you, bro.
Yeah, don't let me speak for you.
No, because you're
I
losing
won't do a good
2-0
job.
to him already, bro.
So, but I know that Ian draws a lot of satisfaction out of just seeing the other people happy and seeing everybody
Bottom
else
line,
performing.
man, the
and
whole thing with the show is just to see these guys happy again and and doing what they love. And even if they're weekend warriors, like, a couple times a year,
Yeah.
people will be stoked to see them. And, hopefully we'll get a new album out of them this year and be good shit.
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that then. So future plans, or I mean, well, I don't know. How far did we get? We're into an album. We have an album. Let's maybe talk a little bit of
Touring
life on
a
the
little
road.
bit. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So maybe
sure there's-
maybe first tour.
You got to be
stories.
careful about the stories that come out of this part of this.
This
Not
is where
for-
it gets
you know-
weird.
Not for me so much.
Yeah, we'll turn off Greg's mic.
Yeah.
I'll shut up too.
I've got a couple. I got a couple that are probably tame enough to tell that we could share. That are
Well, maybe
that are
even
funny.
just sort of the experience of doing it.
Sure.
We're going on our first tour. We've got an
It's a
album to
grind.
promote. Let's talk about that.
It's
Well,
a grind.
let's talk about the
A mobile traveler,
the mobile exploder.
the immobile traveler.
Yeah.
We got gifted this really. I think it was a 19.
Wasn't it Two Rudes?
I was just gonna say it was too rude.
It was Two Rudes old. I don't know if
They
anybody
took
else
good
out there
care
is
of it.
familiar with
Took
Two
really
Rudes.
good care of it.
They took really good. I think it was I was told it was the Suburban Noise RV.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. Like, we'll take a free RV. Like, if we're gonna drive it across the country."
We probably should have looked at the pictures of it.
Yeah. So we get to this. I don't even know where it
hold
was.
on. Before we even started, we gutted this thing.
Well, but wait. You gotta go to the part when we saw it.
Oh,
Because it was like we were like thinking, okay, it's like an RV, like a nice Winnebago or something. Nice one.
Ian just fell down.
So we're thinking, oh, awesome, like Suburban Noise, they're a record label. They probably got some good
Yeah, we
RV
finally got a
with,
tour bus.
Yeah, well, whatever. I wasn't expecting a tour bus, but I'm like, okay, it's an RV that's like drivable. So we get to wherever it was.
Beats
It
the
was
old
stored
van.
somewhere, and
Oh,
it's a 1985 Mobile Traveler that literally, I don't even think it ran. And I think there was like
Yeah, we had
weeds.
to jump it.
There was weeds, not the good kind, growing inside of it.
Wow.
And we literally,
It's called mold.
it was fucked up. But we,
There-
being the positive
remember the-
band that we are,
Yeah.
we took it.
Hold on.
Go
wait,
ahead.
wait. So
And went
we
crazy.
open it up and we're like, oh, this thing does not smell so good. So we're looking around and we're like, what is that? And then we noticed that in the middle of the counter, there's a hole in the middle of the counter in the kitchen. And we looked down in this hole and it was not a hole that was supposed to be there. And it didn't really go to anywhere. But that's just where they'd been throwing garbage. So we had to literally dig all this garbage out of this hole that went down into the cabinetry that you had no way to really get to. And I think, weren't you holding me and
Here's-
half my body's down
Yeah.
in this
That was
taking
that.
garbage? Oh.
But here's the thing. So no, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Matt is a carpenter, and he's like a great. He's pretty
Really good.
fucking amazing right
Yeah.
now. He's
Yeah, he's working on really cool stuff right now.
yeah. And so and I was working with him at the time. Like he got me a job. Like we were putting in doors and windows for our buddy Clay, like in San Diego.
Yeah,
That's kind of
thieves.
yeah. That's yes,
Another
and
one of
that's
those.
exactly yes. Played bass for Thicker Than Thieves. That was kind of like our job while when we weren't on tour, because it was cool because he would let us.
Yeah, let you
go
leave.
like, oh, we're gonna leave for a month. He'd be like, all right, well, I guess you're leaving for a month. So, and then we come back and we'd have a job. It was nice because he's a fellow musician. He kind of got it. But anyway, Matt, like we basically like all of us, we took this thing and it was like, well, it's really a piece of shit. We're gonna polish this turd. And I remember we spent so much.
We polished the shit.
I mean, we spent-
out
To
of
be
that
honest
turd.
with you guys did a hell of a job.
Yeah, we
it
did.
looked a lot better, dude, from
It
when
was
you got it.
functional. It was functional.
We spent what's up?
I'm just thinking Rogar made a little logo to
Yes,
put on it.
yes, you did.
We
Yes.
should have done a wrap though, because it was like brown and white.
Yeah,
And then this-
It had
and then-
orange
and
in
then
it too,
I'm
dude.
not sure that we had wrap
It
technology.
was
back
it was
then.
essentially
would've cost
it was
$29,000.
essentially
You
a
made
big
that. You made that big red. It was that big Mix Mob
Yeah.
logo, right? Yeah. So Ryan Rogar here made a logo that we stuck on the side of this pile of shit van. Anyway, I remember us spending weeks and weeks, and we gutted it inside, and like Matt built all this intricate
bunk
shit. We
beds
built-
bunks and stuff.
It was
Yeah.
definitely illegal. It was a death trap for sure. But
You made my wife made window coverings
Yes.
for it to Velcro
Yes.
out. It was Velcro window covering
Yes.
so instead of tinted windows, she sized out the windows and put
It's
Velcro
sewed
over.
in.
Here's
Yeah.
my wife sending me on tour. Here, I'm gonna black out the windows so anything can happen in here.
so
Nothing happened.
So we spent so much time on the interior. Hold on,
Yeah.
the interior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spent zero time
On the engine.
Probably the most important fucking thing of this was the engine.
Hey, we had to live in that thing.
And there was so there was okay. First off, there was a hole. Remember, there was a hole in the fucking floorboard
Yeah.
where you drove. So like anybody that was driving, it like
We
some
were
of these
driving
places-
to Salt Lake City,
Yes, we'd come out
Wyoming,
here and it-
snowing. Your
30
feet,
below. Your feet is
So we
freezing off.
We got a space heater down
No,
by the
that was-
pedals.
That was after we had the blow up. So hold on, let me
God.
back that
God,
up a little
dude.
bit. So
Death
okay, we get this thing to where it's livable and where we're happy
Added
to
maybe
be in it.
9,000 pounds of weight to it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're carrying a 2,000-pound trailer on
And this,
the back.
hold on. Side note, though.
Yeah.
This was the first. So this is our first tour.
Yeah.
We got it all ready, and this is where we met Ian G out because we were like, Ian's gonna come on the road with us. He's gonna, kind of like
Yeah.
tour manage and like do our merch and just help us out with all kinds of shit because he does that.
Gaffle stuff.
Yeah, steal things. And I remember this vividly. So we spent so much time and effort fixing this thing up. So we were fucking. This is kind of what we worked for, like being in San Diego and like, trying to get this whole SRH thing and Suburban Noise thing going. We finally got it, and then they're like, "All right, you guys got to tour with fucking Cottonmouth Kings." We're like, "Holy shit!" Like this is gonna be the fucking shit, and we got
and
like,
where does it start?
yes, in Asheville,
Asheville,
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina.
So you
That
guys
was a
gotta-
fun drive, though, dude.
So guess what?
Try.
You guys not only have to fucking drive for 18 hours.
Yeah. So we spaced that out a little bit. We actually had fun getting there. Holy shit.
I think there was an episode in Tennessee, possibly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we probably should. That's illegal.
This is not. Yeah.
Illegal shit going on there.
If-
Not good.
If any, yeah, you might have to erase this. So
No, you don't.
No, we get to Nashville, Tennessee. We're excited to see Nashville. I think half of us had never even been there, never seen it, and a lot of history and this and that. And so we go out and we're walking up and down the streets, and there's all these little bars and all these musicians playing. We're having the time of our
But
lives.
wait a minute. We also have a tendency to do this as a band. Is like we'll go. We did it here a couple nights here already, but we'll go somewhere and then it's like we're so excited to be there that we put all of our partying into one day.
Yeah.
It was like,
And
guys,
just
we got
go
a whole
ape
month
shit
and a half to
crazy.
be on the road, but we were so excited that we get to Nashville. It's like we're going 110% right now. Let's go out and just get absolutely shit
And
faced.
fucking Ian-G's got a camera.
Oh,
Just
that is
recording
this is
everything,
pre-iPhone
right?
days. This is
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are damn
man.
lucky that shit's not on the black market, all right?
No, I'm so thankful.
So we run down the street and we're
Yeah.
trying to find the Exploder, the motorhome, and we stop off. Everybody's got to pee, or I got to pee, or something like that. And I'm
Who?
just like, all right, hold
It was
on.
you.
It was me. Okay, so I'm like, hold on, I'll be right back. and I find this wall, and I think I'm kind of tucked away where no one can see me, and I'm just writing my name and just, man, I'm getting out like 6 beers all at one time. And goes, dude, look up now. And I'm all, huh? What? And I look up, hold on. Country Music Hall of Fame. Oh, shit.
Oops. Just peeing on it.
How do I get my name off of the wall? It's like, let's run. Just run. We're running. So, yeah, I peed on the Country Music Hall of Fame. Didn't even know. What the
Took
hell.
balls, Greg.
So that was day 1 of the tour.
I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm just like, I feel good. I get all these 6 beers.
I mean, and that's rookie. We were rookie mode.
Yeah.
That was like pure
nothing.
excitement.
Was Ryan on this or pre-Ryan?
So I came around actually a little later.
Yeah.
So they got out to Asheville, North Carolina, and the aforementioned exploder exploded.
I was driving when that happened.
Wait, it exploded twice.
It exploded a second time on
Yeah.
the other end of the tour.
I'm remembering that, and you were the
Twice
only one to
Asheville.
deal with it. Yes.
We
Oh
were-
my god.
Okay, so
Yes.
this was memories are coming back to me, and I remember.
I know that's why these stories are getting disjointed because
I
we're
know.
like, oh yeah,
I gotta apologize because this is taking way too long.
Oh, it's fine. We got time.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm driving this fucking thing, and people, it's 6 a.m. or something. You know, like we played the first show, and we were so like it was just like the afterglow. Like, yes, played our first show. Like we partied all fucking night, and we slept in the RV for a little bit there, and it's like, okay, it's 6 o'clock, time to go to the next show.
I think we played 2 shows and then it exploded.
We got 2 shows.
I'm driving.
down.
Was it?
Two
No.
shows. We got 2
We
shows
drove
down.
34 hours straight
Yeah.
because we did not. Okay.
We already talked about this. You were in the
Oh
bathroom.
damn it!
We had to start the tour. Yeah.
Thank you. Keep going.
So,
Proceed.
so I'm driving, and people are fucking. By the way, this thing was so loaded with shit, and we had a fucking like 10,000 pounds of gear behind us too, that you could only go maybe 50 miles an hour on the freeway in this thing, maybe uphill 30, maybe. So I'm fucking driving this thing, and I'm in the slow lane, of course, because we would never get in the fast lane, and people
Unless
are
Matt was driving.
yeah. people were fucking driving by me, and they're fucking honking, like fucking just yelling like motherfucker. And I'm like, dude,
Do you realize
people-
I can't go faster?
Yeah, and I'm like, God, you fucking
Everybody
people are
in the
dicks.
vans,
Like,
you
I'm
know,
in the slow lane,
pumping.
fuck off.
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, I gotta piss or whatever. We're gonna stop, and I pull off. I exit the freeway, and you go up the ramp, and I stop, and this gigantic cloud of white smoke just engulfs. Like, I'm talking big,
Yeah.
engulfs the whole fucking. Yeah.
Do you want to sit down?
Oh, okay. Yeah. This whole
Sorry.
thing engulfs the fucking RV.
We
I'm like,
cracked the block.
yeah. I'm like,
Fucking
holy
cracked the block.
shit.
And then all this white smoke was
Chew a
barely-
rod.
Yeah.
Crack the block, chew a rod.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was bad news.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short is we got stuck there, and we had to fucking wait
We missed.
there's a whole nother
we missed
story onto this.
2
shows.
days.
Yeah,
Two
we missed
shows.
2 shows.
Remember that, Weaver? And then we rented that fucking
Well, and I remember
Ford Explorer.
Yeah, you left somebody behind. Actually, that's I think when the Exploder came around was the Ford Exploder.
Oh, God.
that replaced the RV.
Yeah,
But you guys had to leave somebody in
So-
Asheville. I can't remember who it
That
was. And
was-
then
That
once
was
they-
the old Cottonmouth Kings manager.
No, we didn't
sound,
leave
we didn't leave him.
Merch
We
guy.
sent him.
Yeah.
We sent him from one city to go back to get it. And we said, hey, if you can get back in 2 days, we'll give you X amount of money or whatever. And so that dude by himself drove kind of the same shit we went through.
But it took like 2
But
weeks.
no. Okay.
Yes,
so to
but
do
we had to fly. We had fly him back maybe or
So
something.
this is going back to what Ryan had
Jesus.
originally talked about with your feet freezing. So in order to fix the Exploder, they had to bypass the heating element to do
That's
it
right.
cheaply because we didn't have any money. So we just put in an engine, bypassed the heating element, blah, blah. We didn't think anything of it until we got in and started driving and realizing that it was like 40 below zero at your feet when you're driving because there's a hole in the bottom panel and it's winter.
Yeah, this is like in November.
Yeah.
Dude, your feet would go straight up.
No.
I was like,
Couldn't
oh,
feel
shit,
it.
This doesn't feel
I hope
safe.
I'm hitting the brake pedal.
So
Like, I was like,
So wait a
whoa.
minute. What was our first remedy
And-
to that
and-
situation was a sleeping bag. So that's right. You would get into the fucking
we would slide into this
and then get into a sleeping bag.
I remember that. That was our first theory. Let's put on a sleeping bag before we drive with 2 pedals.
It makes perfect sense because you can easily stop. There's no problem there.
Engineers at work.
Yeah.
Then we were
morons.
like, man, we got to do something else. How about we have this converter that will we had our TV plugged into it at the time. We're like, hey,
Yeah, we played Dreamcast. It was like NBA 2K1, I think. Or NFL 2K1, I think we played a lot of, yeah.
so we were like, why don't we just plug in a space heater?
How many times did that blow up? I mean,
Honestly, it was a fire hazard. We were a mobile fire hazard.
We should have died.
Well, and not only that, so I have the idea of like, you know what? I'm gonna go in the back. Like, I got my chick. I'm not out there prowling. I'm gonna have that top bunk in the back corner. I'm gonna kind of get away, put my little curtain up. Well, I go up this. We built a double bed. So I'm
a bunk bed.
It was a bunk bed that we made.
was
I'm basically
you
at the
tore out
top.
the
I'm on the
bathroom or
top
something and
back
put it in.
corner of this.
hit the brakes and you fly
Oh
across
no!
the.
and I'm smelling. I'm like the exhaust is coming
exhaust
through.
just goes
like
in the
I'm
back
waking
of
up
it.
going like, I'm like I literally can't sleep because I feel like I'm inhaling like death. Like 3 a.m. I'd be like, I think I'm fucking poisoned. I need to move. Greg, switch me seats.
It was always me.
Yeah, Greg,
Give me
you're
a
up
red.
there now.
You know what? I gotta tell you had that one, but Greg, you had the worst death.
Oh, my
we
God.
made so the other thing we built this. There was like a table and like
Another bunk.
yeah, there was a table and
We bunked the
chairs.
shit out of that motherfucker.
And then we built a this fucking thing folded down. So like you could fold it up and then still sit at the table right there. And then you'd fold it down when you wanted to sleep.
Did we build that or was that part of it?
No, Matt built that. And it was just
Everything
the
was
most,
sketchy in the
It
whole
was
thing.
sketchy.
I've got a
I was glad to have a 15-passenger van after it, quite frankly. I
so
was like, at least I know I'm not going to die.
Right.
Mike and I have a crazy fucking story.
Oh,
We're
shit.
talking-
Everybody else was asleep at the time, and it's like
No, I was awake for
4
this
in the
Wyoming.
morning. Yeah,
I was
Okay.
awake.
So it's 4 in the morning, and we're going through Wyoming, and it's snowing balls. And they closed the pass behind us and let us go through.
So you're
We're
the
in-
last one.
Yes, we're in a motorhome with
It's
2,000-pound trailer. It's blizzarding. The
Blizzard.
only way you can tell where the road is just following the ruts. Okay.
So like any truck or anything that's in front, we were like trying, like seriously, like, is there a car we could just follow?
Yeah.
Like
There's no road.
There's
There's no
I can't
road
drive.
And if they just kind of veer off to the right, just keep going
You guys,
straight.
probably know more about this than we do, but like, yeah.
It's coming from California.
Like
it's
you
the
guys are
fucking
like, you guys,
scariest
this is
thing.
normal Sunday, bro. What are you?
Dude, that was
about?
last night.
Yeah.
I drove
It was last night a little, yeah.
Well, that's why we were having this conversation last night when we
Yeah.
were
Do you
driving through
remember?
the snow. I'm like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Come on.
I had to drive that RV once or twice in those winter conditions, and that fucker was like being corralled down
Well,
the
dude,
road. I mean, you
this-
couldn't make it go straight.
This guy and I,
Scary shit.
Okay. So
he's driving.
So I'm driving and
I'm
I'm
on the
like,
top.
Mike, we're gonna run out of gas soon. He's like, take the next exit. We'll pull over and maybe we'll get some rest or something.
Dude,
I'm
it
like,
was on
okay.
fumes, and we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, how?
So
Number
you
one,
couldn't
how?
even start it to get
Number one,
heater
how are we
going.
even in this position?
No, wait, this gets crazy. So we're coming down a little bit of a grade, just a little bit of a grade.
Shut it off,
right?
coast.
But yeah, exactly.
No, we weren't smart enough to do that. I'm like, all right, we're gonna take this exit, and Mike's like, you better slow down. Here comes the exit. You better slow down.
Greg,
He's like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? You're missing the exit. I'm like, the brakes are on full. I have the wheel cranked to the
We're like
right.
this.
And you're still going
completely,
straight.
and
Right
we're
past
just zoom right down the street. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Mike's like, put the wheel back, bro. So I'm like, holy shit. So the next exit, we wised up and we rolled to it. Literally rolled.
I'm
remember
so
that, yeah.
we had the way that this thing was. There was another bunk up above. You've seen like the RVs with
Yeah,
the little
like
the little
over
bed
the cab. Yeah.
above the top, and there's a tiny little window, and I'm watching this whole thing unfold through this little tiny.
Oh, you're on
window.
the above.
Yeah, so I'm even more freaking out because
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's like Star Wars.
oh my God, dude.
I'm
And he's right below me, so I'm like, I'm
He's like,
looking
"Are-
down.
what are you
going,
doing?
He's
You're
like
missing the exit.
straight in
You're
the
missing the
Greg's like
exit.
Luke. He's like R2D2.
Yeah. But it was crazy. I had my foot to the floor on the brakes and the wheel was cranked to where it wouldn't crank anymore. And I'm just watching the exit go by, and we're just going straight.
Zero control
Shoom.
over anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my
What do I do? Put the wheel back, bro.
So this is
Try-
show number 3.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, this
Again, for an 18-hour show because we will talk until you die.
This was after. So the scheme of everything goes. Drove 34 hours, played 2 shows, RV blows up, played 2 weeks driving around in a fucking Ford Explorer, then
Yeah.
got
Smashed
said
into one.
said RV back in Colorado, and then it was like Colorado, like we were driving
were
through
you able to,
Wyoming.
just throw your gear in with the Kings and let them kind of
No, they had a pull trailer.
We
were
pulled
on
a
our
trailer.
own,
In
yeah.
fact, we lied. Sorry, we lied to Enterprise Rent-A-Car or whatever. Yeah, we're not going to pull a trailer with it. Well, you can't pull a trailer with this. Oh, yeah, that's not a
We
problem.
bought it. We bought a hitch and
And then we just
set
bought a
that shit
hitch and
up.
put it on, pulled the trailer the whole way.
We set that shit up.
awesome.
We purposely
We're
were
like, what are you gonna do? We got to get to the next one.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is I remember scoping out like rental places to find the one with the trailer hitch that
And you
was
never
available.
want to ask. You never want to
No.
ask if you can because you know it's against the rules.
We
Did
just
you
did.
take the hitch off when you returned it, or you just?
Yeah,
say,
I
hey,
know. It was like it had the hitch already,
receiver,
and
yeah,
like we
okay.
just put the thing in.
I
And
thought you bought the full-on receiver and installed it on the vehicle.
what's up?
Well, the end of this Wyoming story, because this is when I woke up. I probably woke up when he said, "Turn the fucking wheel," and I said, "I can't," and I was like, "Huh?"
But he was high from exhaust. So
yeah,
it didn't matter.
yeah, exactly. But I remember pulling off,
You're praying
and
for
we just
death.
pulled into the Blair Witch Project. There is. I swear to
Remember
God,
this one too.
I was freaking the fuck out because there was nothing. I was like, this is really dark, really snowy. I'm seeing some kind of cabins kind of off the, and we're pulling around. And all I'm hearing is Mike and they're arguing because they're both stressing. Zero gas, middle of nowhere. These two guys. All right. It was like, fuck you. What the fuck? What the fuck you? I'm doing that. I'm doing this. Blah, 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 blah. Back and forth. And I'm like, oh shit, man. I'm tired. I'm groggy. I'm like, oh my God. I get out of the car.
Blair Witch.
We are jackknifed.
Oh yeah.
We are 100%. We're not only jackknife. We are bending our trailer.
Yeah,
like we
the
are
trailer's
already into.
hitting.
We're already into our trailer. We've already got a hole into our gear trailer, and the front nose is literally touching a tree that's like 4 feet wide. So how they went back and forth and jackknifed to where the car is the front is touching the tree, and they're jackknifed. Like I don't even know how that happens. Like I don't even know how you get to that part. Like how do you go back and forth and work your way into that?
That's amazing.
And so we're like, okay. So we had to like make the hole bigger. I'm like, you have to like, I by the way, I did not solve this problem. I'm not going to claim that. But I remember the solve was we have to fuck up our trailer more to get out of this
Yeah, there's
situation.
no other way.
Yeah, there was no other way.
It was either that or like unload the whole trailer.
Yeah, and pick
Fucking
it up.
take it off and move it.
And which we were not doing
Not
at
in the
3
snow.
in the morning
Hell no, yeah.
with no gas.
This is like in the middle of nowhere.
Hey, were we in the Explorer when we were throwing the M80s out the?
No, that was
the
Mike.
roof?
Mike is got a pyro issue, bro. Like,
Dude, that was so
oh
much
my
fun.
God, he's like.
Where were we? Were we in the?
No. We were in the van at that time.
I'm pretty sure Mike started the
Second tour.
San Diego
Throwing 'em out the
fires of
roof.
like 2000, whatever.
Maybe we were.
Well, on that,
I don't remember what we were traveling in. This is another crazy story, but we
Damn it.
stopped and we all got fireworks, right?
Yeah, that was in Illinois or something.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And when you're traveling, you're so bored and there's nothing to do. And we're looking around and there is not a light as far as the eye can
Which
see.
is awesome, by the way, too.
Yeah.
yeah.
So for whatever reason, didn't we have? There was a hole in the roof or like a sunroof, whatever.
We had,
I
a
remember that.
67 Camaro convertible that we toured with.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that was
No. I think it was,
I
it was one of those little
correct
deals you could crank open and it was like for
Yeah.
exhaust or whatever.
Yeah,
Or not
okay.
exhaust, but like it
Like a
bring in
vent.
air.
Yeah.
So
Like a
we're
vent, yeah.
taking M80s and we're lighting them and throwing them out the roof and then turning around and looking behind us and
See
the
'em blow
whole
up.
road just boom, just like lights up, you know?
I think we even
We're
pulled
like,
over and we were
I think I mommed out on that, too. I was like, dude,
Guys, stop it.
Yeah, I think I did.
Get in trouble.
Yeah, I think I did. We're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah, and then Mike and I are no. Okay, we'll stop. Kaboom!
I think we literally stopped and I remember we got those like Roman candles and we were shooting
yeah.
Roman candles at each other in the middle of the like we just pulled off in the middle of the interstate. There was no one out there.
Yeah,
Classic.
running around, and that's when we ditched James's underwear in Mike's shoes, or no, Matt's shoes.
Oh, yeah.
So things began to stink on tour. And there, after a while, it's like, I don't even want to get in the van with you guys, man. Somebody's got to tell Mike, or no, somebody's got to tell Matt that either he gets in the van without his shoes or he doesn't get in the van. So
Whose shoes were this?
those were Matt's.
It smelled so bad.
We're not.
Remember those? He didn't wear socks for like half the tour.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh,
Listen, all right.
Matt, I'll defend you, bro. I don't know that happened.
We got to. Are we good on time?
Yeah, well, let's. Yeah, you can finish this story.
I just want to end this first tour because so.
And I've got a couple thoughts
Yes.
of that one too.
Well, you were at the end of this one.
I can give you a
joined
story of
this-
yourself, your merch money thing.
Yeah, that was first
I need
night
to
of
hear
tour.
this.
actually.
Explain yourself.
That's a good first for you. That
Yeah.
was your rookie voice.
You came up to me and said, "Hey, dude, I really fucked up tonight."
It was my first night on tour,
Go ahead,
Kansas
you
City,
tell it.
Kansas.
do you remember it though?
Did you
Yeah,
want to
actually,
finish
I have
that?
pretty good memories of
you
it.
were hammed.
I don't know if my
he
memories are
didn't
the same.
drink at all on the
No.
road, dude.
No. So
He
this-
came up to me, one of his eyes was closed. I was like, Rogar,
That was your
what
first
are you
beer
doing?
ever.
He's
so
like,
first night on tour. I got to Kansas City a day ahead of you guys or something.
Wait, by the way, you were going to be the responsible merch guy that you could trust.
So the first night was off.
night.
but
We were
from
like,
then
bro,
on,
we
it was pretty
literally,
smooth
hold on.
sailing.
Let me, you can tell your story, but let me tell you the pre-part of this. We said, dude, Rogar would be perfect for merch. Super reliable, super confident. Like he will be super chill. He will be on top of that shit. First night, go ahead.
Okay. so Kansas City, Kansas side, I think we were playing the Beaumont with Primer 55 and maybe Dope.
Is that what they had the bull ride?
Bionic
The bull
Jive.
ride?
Bionic Jive.
Did they have the bull ride? Was that the Beaumont?
I don't think
No,
so.
that was actually in Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
thought that's where you came in.
yeah, I did, but at
was a
this
different
particular
show.
club, the Beaumont, different show.
Okay, gotcha.
So anyway, yeah, I joined the tour then, which was, I don't know, 3 or 4 days after you guys had the Exploder incident in Asheville.
Yeah.
And I was smart enough to fly out. I didn't drive
Good
with
for
you
you.
guys. So, but yeah, that was first night on tour, and I don't know how I got going so bad, but
I know how.
one of the songs.
green room.
Yeah,
All
right.
the beer you can drink.
Well, one song that these guys are well known for is called SoCal Drunks, and in that song they talk about Red Bull vodkas. And so that was kind of the
Which
thing.
I don't recommend.
Yeah, no, it's good for heart palpitations and anything
Everything.
else.
No.
But so I started in on the Red Bull vodkas, trying to stay true to theme. At some point, I had so many I forgot, but I have just these glimmers or these little glimpses of the evening, and I know,
And they're all
you
been
guys-
told to you.
Yeah, you guys
because
can
you can't
probably
remember all.
You guys can maybe fill in some of the gaps,
Yeah.
but I still have a slow motion vision of dropping all the money that we'd collected that evening. I
No,
can
no,
still
no,
see
no.
that
You
slow
had no
motion.
vision of dropping the money. You did not have a vision of dropping the money because we made you
Yeah, maybe
aware
I got
that
that
there was
memory later.
money everywhere, and you had no idea
And I
that
remember-
happened.
And then after the show, I remember sitting
It
out
was
back
hilarious.
behind the Beaumont. They had some kind of I don't know, horseshoe pits and shit in the back. And I remember sitting outside in the rain, just sitting there, just like completely blacked out drunk.
Yeah.
And then at some point, these guys rounded me up into the car. We went back to the hotel. And I think we got the King's room after they'd left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
they were cool
something.
about that. Yeah, they were very
Secondhand
cool
rooms.
about that. I remember
And
that.
I just remember laying on the floor in that room, covered in towels that I'd taken from the like cleaning cart out in the hallway, and I was just laying under towels, and so I just like that. Woke up, the next day.
That same night, so I remember. So my memory of this is I was sitting at that merch booth. I was actually sober as can be that night, and I remember like
Thank
looking.
God one of us was.
Yeah, I think that was. But I remember looking down on the ground and going, "What the fuck? There's a bunch of money on the ground," and it was like it wasn't like a dropped money. It was like somebody crumbled up a bunch of bills and like kind of threw it out like confetti.
like there was a stripper present.
Yeah, it was like 8 square feet of like a lot of money. It was a lot of fucking
8
money.
square feet of money.
But it was like because it was spread out like confetti, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm picking up like here's a 5, here's a 10, here's a 20, and I'm picking this up, and we're stacking it up, and I have no idea how long that happened. So and no, I don't even care, Rogar. It didn't matter. You were super stoked, and we were rookies. He peed on the Country Music Hall of Fame for God's sake, so it doesn't really matter. But so we got it. We didn't care. But I remember that same night. I don't know if you remember this because you were probably hammered, but like I looked over at Mike, and that club was fucking hot like a sauna.
Oh, is this when I almost
worse.
died?
Yeah, I remember
Dude,
the
I
windows
swear to
all
God, we
steamed
should have taken Mike to ER
I
because
think I almost died that.
because Mike literally like he was sitting next to me. He's like, I'm just so fucking hot right now.
It was like a,
and he
hell in there.
just started keeling over, dude. Like he was like you were dehydrated. Like I should have had like the thought like you're going to the hospital like right now. So we just started filling him with water and he kind of recovered, but like. Dude, it was crazy. Like you had that. So here's me, the sober guy in this situation. You just dropped 1,000 tons of money. You're laying out in the towels over here. Here's Mike passing out on me. Here's me going,
What do I do?
what the fuck, man? What kind of life is this?
I love it.
This is the last time I don't drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I should have been
I need to
wasted.
join this so I don't care about any of these motherfuckers.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was the big bomber for me. I didn't have any others like that, but I mean, plenty of drinking and everything
But
else.
you-
But I
you'll
think
never
that
live
may
it
have
down,
been the
though.
only time I dropped.
Yeah,
down.
it doesn't matter. You'll never live it down.
Yeah, no. After that, it was business. All business, strictly business. So, but speaking of winter conditions, I don't know if anybody's got the same memory as me, but I remember we were coming back. I think we were maybe done playing shows and we were working our way back to San Diego. And I remember we got caught up in a big snowstorm in NorCal.
Pull it back.
No, what? No. Back up.
You hear that?
Someone, one of
All right, good.
farted.
Anyway, so I think we're somewhere in Northern California, and it was snowing and just dumping really bad weather. And
I
at
remember
some point
Weed.
we decided, Weed, California.
Weed, California.
At some
Dude,
point,
what a name.
Yeah, at some
I know.
point
I
we
like
decided
it.
we've got to pull off. I mean, we can't go any further.
I
We
remember
talk about
this.
this.
I
and
vividly
so
remember
we pulled
this. one.
off in sunny Weed, California.
Yeah.
And shut her
Play
down
Buck
for
Hunter.
the
Didn't we
night.
play Buck Hunter?
Yes. Yes.
I love Buck Hunter.
So we shut it down for the night.
Best game ever.
And I remember waking up. I mean, pretty early, because we had to keep on trucking.
That was in a McDonald's.
We got up pretty early, and we were sitting in the middle of the fucking McDonald's parking lot, like
Yeah.
in the middle, like cars
We didn't
park
even-
on either
we
side
didn't
of you,
even-
and
we
we were in
didn't
the
even-
middle.
Yeah.
We couldn't see the McDonald's when we got.
It was just we were
found
in
an
the
empty
middle of this
parking lot.
weird place.
And yeah, we were right in the middle of it,
And it had
So-
dumped. It probably snowed like 3 feet.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
insane. We had no
So, but
business
yeah,
being on the road.
Yeah, no, especially in that fucking Harvey.
and
so-
that's in like.
And then
probably-
I think it blew up right after that.
Well, shortly thereafter, so I
Again.
think by then we had dropped a few people along the way in Fresno's and Sacramento's and stuff like that. So by the time we got back down to Southern California, I know I was there,
Encinitas.
Ian G was
And
there,
me, yeah.
and Greg I think was it.
Blew
And
up.
and yeah, and
the
I
thing
think it was
blew up
Encinitas
again.
or
Like
Escondido.
back to San Diego, pretty
Encinitas,
much.
yeah.
I think you guys just left it there.
Well, the thing was, so for me, it's like Christmas Eve. This was like December 24th or something, and we're, engines blown up for the second time. I think it was Escondido.
you were on
Yeah,
your
we're
own.
standing
You were
there.
solo, were you not?
Yeah, well,
No, no.
there was three of us. It was me, Ian G,
Okay.
and Greg, and
I was solo because they had to
Yeah.
get on a flight.
I
okay.
was with you,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, that's right.
Ian
Yeah,
took
that's
When I was
it out.
living with you, dude.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
but I
that's
had to get
right.
home. I, had wife waiting for me, all this stuff, because we had Christmas tomorrow, the next day, or maybe this
Yeah, it
is
was
23rd or
Christmas
something.
her,
Eve.
she makes a
Yeah.
big deal out
Blew
of
up
Christmas.
on Christmas
Yeah.
Eve. We
Yeah.
couldn't even
I mean,
make it home for the
yeah,
holidays.
It may have been the 23rd or something, but it was right there because I had a flight that day that I had to catch in San Diego, and I think Escondido was like 40 miles or something from there.
Yeah.
And so, and I remember I didn't know. I mean, I was an Idaho kid. I didn't know California real well, so I got off and I didn't know where the fuck we were. And I remember I got out of the RV and I walked down the street. And there was like an overpass, and I saw a guy out running, and I was like, "Dude, where are we?" and he told me we were in Escondido or whatever, and so I found a mile marker, and I had to call a cab to come pick me up on the side of the freeway and get me to San Diego in time for an airport.
That was like $150.
Yeah, well, and I was a broke fucking kid. I didn't have any money,
Jesus.
and I just dumped $200 into this taxi so I can get down to catch my flight home, which I made, by the way. But then,
Nice.
then I think these two ended up abandoning it or
We
dumping
were-
it.
Yeah, we just left
No,
it.
we had
garage or
to.
something.
We
just
had
leave it there?
to. No, because we had all the gear, so we weren't going to leave all the gear. We
Yeah,
were
but-
going to leave the motorhome. Yeah, no,
Yeah, we
big
were
deal.
over that thing.
But we took trips back and forth with a car and picked up gear.
I
by
totally
gear
forgot
by
about
gear.
that shit.
Jesus.
Yeah, it took us like 4 trips on
Yeah.
Christmas Eve, loading gear, offloading gear in a car because that's all we could get our
Just
hands
Craig
on.
and I, too.
Yeah, and it was just you guys. So you had the pleasure of unloading
The
everyone's
best
shit.
Christmas ever.
We was like, yeah, I didn't have to deal with it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was opening presents.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so those are the grand
some
memories.
eggnog.
I did make it back in time for Christmas, but yeah, it was
God,
a shit
tours,
show.
man.
So
Well, think about this. So we could go, like I said, for 18 years, but that's a probably 4, 5, 6 year snapshot of touring.
Yeah.
And so back to the point that I was making about the Slightly Stupids of the world who they
Did that for 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
And granted, and trust me, they did not have the same, they've dealt with a lot of this. So all these bands that have done this, I hope people appreciate them. And so when they go to a show, like that's freaking ridiculously amazing that they have gone from that point to that point and they stayed together, especially when they stayed
And
together.
still like each other.
And still like each other.
Yeah.
And they're a smaller group that has, I think it's Miles and Kyle for the most part. And I keep going back to them because they're San Diego, I guess. And I relate to their success more than I do like a Revolution or an Iration or whatever. I don't know their journey, but like I know their journey. I'm thinking about them because we were in the same time when they were doing at the kind of similar level, like Pepper and Slightly Stupid, probably like in our world.
We were playing the same stages back in the day as they were in San Diego. We would play Winston.
And they have not, and now they're just, it makes me feel good that a band that's stuck together, stayed together as the same crew, and these 4 years of stories of hell and drama, and I'm calling it hell and drama. There's a lot of fun in there, but a lot of it's a lot of grinding and stuff, and they've done this for 15 years.
Yeah.
And they've got to this point that they are, which is fantastic. So I'm leaving this podcast saying, hey, Slightly Stupid Pepper, God bless you guys. I'm glad you guys are doing well. I'm super stoked. I'm going to try to see you with Ian at the Cali Roots Festival. Hopefully, I'm hoping to go to that. But like,
you should go.
It's just awesome. So good. It's good.
Cool.
Music's awesome.
You can go.
Can I go?
Yes, you can go too.
I don't know, Nads.
You're not invited.
All right.
Damn it.
Well, then, with that, at the end of the first tour, we'll pull this thing to a close because I know we could go on.
Yeah,
forever.
I'm sure we have another 5 hours of content.
I can
probably.
think of trips to from San Diego to Arizona. You know, driving off roads and people. You know, I can think of all kinds of crazy shit to talk about. But this could go on literally all night. So we'll call it a.
All right. So part 2. Let's go.
Yeah, and begin. So we'll have to do this for the documentary, I guess.
Whoa.
So
oh man, a whole nother word.
We got to stop right there.
So anyway, I just want to thank these guys for everything over the years. I mean, it contributed to a lot of good memories from my youth, you know, especially, and hopefully contributed a few back for them.
For sure.
You know, we've had,
Absolutely.
you know, this little reunion get together out here with Ian and these guys has been, you know, really cool for me and really cool for, I mean, everybody else who got to enjoy it and sort of relive some of these things. So super stoked for all that. Excited to see where we go from here. There's been rumblings of maybe putting together a new album. You know, I mean, so those things are exciting and really fun, and it'll be fun to see where we go in the next year or 6 months or 10 years. So anyway, with that, thanks so much, Greg, Mike, Ryan, Ian G, and another Mike.
Yeah, me.
So, and with
Thank
that,
you guys.
thanks so much. You can catch the Mix Mob guys at Mix Mob Music on Instagram.
Ian is at
Anywhere
5 all
else that we
day,
should be
right?
aware?
I guess Facebook, but
About these dudes.
Yeah.
Mixed Mob Music is whatever.
That's
Okay,
the
Ian.
spot. So yeah, so you can catch up with what they're doing, any show dates, any of that stuff. You can check out the album SoCal Drunks. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's wherever you are. And yeah, shoot these guys some emails. Let them know you want to hear more from them. And with that, thanks so much, and we'll call it a day. Have a great week.
Yeah,
Thank
you guys.
Thank you
right.
guys. Appreciate it.
It's a motherfucking madhouse. Turn it up, turn it down. Madhouse is what we all about. If you ain't loud, get the fuck out the crowd right now. Open the doors, 9 o'clock, right in the dot. People flowing in, blowing up in this hot spot. We got liquor, so let's lick shots. SoCal Drunks is punk and hip hop. And I see you standing, waiting, running around. Your inhibition fading. Showtime, it's our time, so here we go. Our time to let y'all know. And ladies look lovely. Fellas in the pit do a little bit of shoving. Heat it up like an oven. Everybody getting close like they motherfucking cousins. 1 dozen fluid ounces, round for round, the whole room bounces. I'm too no goodie in the hoodie home base. This is my place, the motherfucking madhouse. Turn it up, turn it down. Madhouse is what we all about. If you ain't loud, get the fuck out our crowd. Let me hear you run around in the motherfucking madhouse. Turn it up, turn it down. Madhouse is what we all about. If you ain't loud, get loud, get loud, get loud. Everybody out, just like Friday night. People by the stage in the rage under bright lights. I spit fire upon my mic. Mob in the mix to get shit hyped. And I see you, you're waiting. Inhibition's fading. It's showtime, it's our time to let you know. and let's get it rolling. Proud of the crowd when I see it get swollen. Knock 'em down like we bowling. Strike with this mic, I'm motherfucking holding. One goal in mind to hit ya. Pound for pound, MOB gon' get ya. I'm too no goodie in the hoodie home base. This is my place, the motherfucking madhouse. Turn it up, turn it down. Madhouse is what we all about. If you ain't loud, get the fuck out our ground. Let me hear you run your mouth in the motherfucking madhouse. Turn it up, turn it down. Madhouse is what we all about. If you ain't loud, get loud, get loud, get loud. I see you, dog, you waiting for this call. And you ladies have scattered to the wall. Mr. Bouncer, bounce like a ball. Try so hard just to maintain control. Bartender, spit a ball of fury. On the underground, he gets a little worried. I must admit, I love this shit. Fucking Madhouse is home to this bar kid. Just one in my mouth, I turn it up, I turn it out. I'm not man, just one in my mouth, I turn it up. Ah, motherfucking Madhouse, turn it up, turn it out. Madhouse is what we all about. If you ain't loud, get the fuck out our ground. Let me hear you run your mouth in the motherfucking Madhouse. Turn it up, turn it out. Madhouse is what we all about. If